try. What is your key for success here tonight?
You just have to stay engaged, play some clean baseball, and not get too high, not get too low. As you see the game last night, it's never over until it's over. It's the way baseball is.
And that's exactly how baseball goes sometimes. So when we asked Coach Jason Chatwood on the other side of things, after being shook and stunned, we caught up with him to ask what the message is for tonight and how the guys reset after facing last night's heartbreaker.
Yeah, I think we talked to him quick after. We don't have much time to feel sorry for ourselves, right? We got a chance, game 3 at home to win a league title, and that's, you know what I mean? That's kind of what we're focusing our attention on, and we just got to go out and we got to play hard and have fun, and I want them to enjoy it, right? It's going to be a special night. It's going to be a good crowd, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Now we take a look at the starting pitcher on the mound, one of the aces for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He is the pitcher of the year. He had 11 games this summer, 7 starts, 39.1 innings pitched, 43 strikeouts, and gave up only 14 earned runs with a 3.20 ERA. That is Matthew McKenzie getting things ready for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They're going to need some big efforts from him, but he's got a tough lineup to face as we take a look at the Regina Red Sox batting order. In Raphael Jackson, who was super hot last night, so was Zaid Brannigan. Matthew Fox, always dangerous. Brady By as well, and it just keeps going on. Ian Montz, that number 6 hitter, 2 solo homers last night. Without even him, that game could have been a totally different story. He kind of kept things going offensively for the Regina Red Sox when things weren't really going their way. And then, as we mentioned in the pregame just minutes ago, Justin Simard, the fate of his bat, this game might not be happening if it wasn't for Justin Simard drilling one deep in the hole in right field. And that's kind of how the Regina Red Sox found a way to not only tie the game, take the lead, and then force a game 3 here tonight. So it's going to be interesting. Sylvan Lake threw a lot of arms at the Regina Red Sox and a lot of their stronger arms at the Red Sox yesterday, but they still have this guy, Matthew McKenzie. They also have, and I would not be surprised if we see him, Leroy Taveras coming in at some point as well. And then you also might have Josh Tucker, who has been pretty busy this postseason, but he might just be the guy that the Sylvan Lake Gulls need to turn to late in this ball game, depending on how things go. Sylvan Lake, this is basically a second chance, if you will. And Raphael Jackson starts with a nice ground ball over to Tai Yukamoto, and he overthrows first base. So maybe a little bit adrenaline running through the arm of Tai Yukamoto, and the Gulls start with an error right off the get-go. Yikes. Not how you want to start this one. A little bit of nerves maybe running through this ball club that you haven't seen a lot of this season. Sylvan Lake Gulls have done a really good job this year at maintaining their emotions, keeping calm, and just playing with a lot of fun. I think they're going to have to get back to that style of gameplay if they're going to want to have any chance at beating this red-hot Red Sox team. So that'll bring up Zaid Brannigan, second baseman for the Regina Red Sox, celebrating his 22nd birthday today. Zaid Brannigan from St. Thomas Virgin Islands, and he hits this deep to center field, but settling underneath of it will be Kyle Lewis for the first out. So some good contact on the ball as the Regina Red Sox bats continue just to show that they have some power in those bats. And that'll bring up Matthew Fox, the shortstop for the Red Sox. Matthew Fox, Huntington Beach, California, goes to Golden West Community College. Just underway here in Game 3 of the WCBL Final. This is all she wrote, folks. It all comes down to this. All for the marbles. Winner takes on. And winner takes all here in Sylvan Lake. And that pitch just missing inside for ball 2. Let's take a look at our umpires for the evening. In behind home plate, we got Ron Shuchuk. He'll be the crew chief tonight. Over at first base, Trevor Drury. At second, Brad Johnston. And then over at third base, Rob Allen, Rob Allen was the home plate umpire yesterday. This one's fouled back in behind us here. 2-1 the count now to Matthew Fox. So same ump crew, 4 ump crew that we had yesterday, just rotating around the ball diamond. McKenzie throwing that one in with some speed, 93 miles per hour inside, fouled off, so evens the count at 2-2. Had the pleasure of chatting with Matthew McKenzie yesterday before the game, and he was telling me that if needed, which if this is the case, that he would be the guy they would turn to on the mound. And this is hit hard up the left field side, and that's going to land as a base hit. So Regina Red Sox quickly get 2 runners on base and literally pick up exactly where they left off last night. That's only going to be credited their first base hit, however, as the first play of the game was an error. And we were talking to both coaches, but definitely I had a pleasure of chatting with the Regina Red Sox coach ahead of this game, and he was telling me just a clean game. They want to have a clean game. Yesterday was a very clean game up until the very late stages where Sylvan Lake kind of fell apart, and Regina had quite the clean game themselves. The only thing that they needed to work on heading into tonight was cashing in runners while on base. They stranded quite a few, but at the end of the day, both teams stranded the same amount of batters, which kind of takes you by surprise a little bit, because Regina started off with the first few innings with almost stranding a couple runners every inning for the first few innings to start the ball game. And then the tides kind of turned, and then you found the Sylvan Lake Gulls doing that same thing later on in the game. This is catcher Brady By, 1-1 the count. Beautiful night for baseball. Couldn't ask for a better one here in Sylvan Lake, and a swing and a miss there by By. He's now down 1-2. Just underway here in Sylvan Lake. Another full crowd here in Central Alberta. Runners are going. By takes a cut at this one, lifts it into left field, foul territory. Running onto it was Michael Quick, but he couldn't quite get there in time. So it'll land harmlessly into the territory of foul. And he tried a really good stab at it, just couldn't quite get there in time. So Brady By lives to see at least another pitch. By from Regina, Saskatchewan himself. Goes to Point University. And this is grounded. Right to Flores. He stops it, but he can't do much more than that now. He bobbles it, and that will score a run. A very similar play to see how the Regina Red Sox ended up tying this game up in the top of the ninth. And Flores has to basically relive that nightmare that he had from last night. And then this time he couldn't even find the ball and get it in his hands to make the throw down to home. So just like that, maybe a couple errors early in this ballgame. They're going to get by the hit, though, as they're recording this as a base hit. No, just kidding. There's an error now. So they will give him a hit, but they'll also add an error to the Sylvan Lake Gulls on the Flores pickup there, as this is lifted into right field pretty deep. And catching that is Simon Baker, but the runner from second will advance to third. So Matthew Fox over at third. Raphael Jackson coming in to score. And it's a 1-0 lead after 2 away.
Number 26, Ian Montz.
And as we mentioned, Ian Montz, the solo homer hero for the Regina Red Sox. He had 2 solo home runs in last night's effort in game 2. So you always got to be cautious when this guy's in the batter's box, as you got to be cautious with basically, as we learned from yesterday, every single batter in this Regina lineup is lethal and dangerous. Yeah, it takes a lot of strong pitching to get past these guys, especially when they've heated up this postseason. You wouldn't tell by the way they were batting yesterday and the way they played the playoffs up until this point that they were a 500 team, just above 500 team in the regular season. These guys are playing like they've been the top team in the league all summer long. 1-2 the count, and that's up high and outside. 2-2 now. 2-way. 1-0 Regina leads at the top of 1. Sylvan Lake Gulls have only been down and losing this postseason for half an inning at a time. They were down in Okotoks in that one game. And then this is right back to McKenzie. What a stab with the glove. Comes right off his hand, and he makes the flip over to Macaris for out number 3. A big play from a big man on the mound as we take a look at this replay. And what a play it was to end this inning and to keep it just to a 1-0 lead for the Red Sox. When we come back, the Gulls will hit the bats.
For more than 40 years, we've been there, helping Canadians find the extra space they need to grow and to create new memories. Sentinel Storage. Buy Canadian, store Canadian.
It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected. Because it truly is. And it's all we think about. So you don't have to.
There's the starting pitcher for the Regina Red Sox in number 35, Chris Spry, one of their top aces, getting some action on the mound. He's already got 2 games under his belt this postseason, over 11 innings of work. He's got 10 Ks, but a perfect 2-0 win-loss record with a .397 ERA this postseason. He's only given up 14 hits, 6 runs, 5 of which were earned. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls are going to have their work cut out for them with the bats. However, this is who he's going to face. So we take a look at the Sylvan Lake Gulls batting order, and this is going to be Tai Yukamoto over at short, leading things off with Jaden Flores, Brock Tiarina following him. And then you get Anthony Gilbert, Michael Quick, who had a terrific night last night, our AG Auction player of the game. Junior Garcia steps in. Noticeable roster move there as he comes in to fill in for Trip Ray, who played last night. And then also at first base, Aiden Macaris will fill in for Bryce Turner. Now, Macaris did come in at the halfway point of the game for Turner last night, but he'll get the start here tonight for the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Blue. 1-0 Red Sox lead it here early. We just got underway. We're in the bottom half of the first inning here at Gulls Field, Pagato Park. And as I mentioned, the Gulls have not been down in a game this postseason for more than a full inning. Half inning is all it was, and then they've responded every single time. So see if they can do it here. Tai Yukamoto at the plate. You know, he can put a charge in the ball with, well, he did that last night. He went 1 for 4, but that one hit that he did have was the long bomb over the fence, drove in 2 runs to give the Gulls a 4-1 lead at one point last night. And he kind of squibs this into shallow left center field, and that will land in for a base hit. So good start there for Tai Yukamoto, leadoff hitter.
Second baseman, number 7, Jaden.
That'll bring up Jaden Flores. So he gets a sign from the coach. Flores went 1 for 5 last night at the plate. Struck out a couple times. But he has been the guy that has led the batting and the charge all summer long for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in the regular season. In fact, as we take a look at his numbers, 331 was what he was hitting this summer, 151 at-bats. He had 50 hits, 32 RBIs, 6 home runs. Not only led the team in home runs, but also led him in RBIs as well. Takes that second pitch for ball 2. We've seen now in both games. Well, I guess game 1 was more of a defensive battle, but game 2 and even so far tonight, it's been the pitchers have had the work cut out for them with a heavy offense presence from both sides. 2-1 the count. Jaden Flores. Gonna check over at first, keep Yukamoto close. Again, great to have you tuning in to Gulls Baseball and Flow College, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. Cale Clark here with you on a Saturday night, and a beautiful one at that, for the WCBL Championship Final, Game 3. 2 straight throws over to Yukamoto at first. Spry maybe just trying to freeze up Jaden Flores a little bit here. Brock Tiarina on deck, and Anthony Gilbert following that. And there's ball 3, 3-1 the count now. Let's take a look at the Regina Red Sox defense while we have a moment. Out in left field, Jordan Tucker. At center, Ian Montz. And over at right, Raphael Jackson. So pretty much the same as what we saw last night. Justin Samard is over at third. Matthew Fox at shortstop. Zaid Brannigan over at second, the birthday boy. And then James Wright over at first, with Brady Bye in behind the plate, catching balls and strikes. Spry really keeping Yukamoto close over at first. Well, I think the Regina Red Sox also have taken a little bit of a note from this Skulls team, as they know how to steal bases, they know how to run, and they have some fast base runners. So Spry keeping them close and honest, and he's going to walk. Oh, just kidding. A very, very delayed call by home plate umpire Ron Shuchak, and already has given Jason Chatwood a warning over at the dugout. And that's a pretty good call, actually. That's close. That's at the elbows. That's not far off. So I would say that's a tough call to make, but I think what the fans in the Sylvan Lake Gulls bench didn't like was how delayed of a call it was. As Flores lifts this over to shortstop, makes the play at second, turns it over for a double play, and the Regina Red Sox eliminate the base runner. Just a routine play as it goes right up the middle. Matthew Fox with the flip to Zaid Brannigan before he throws it over for James Wright. That'll bring up the DH, Brock Tiarina. Tiarina had a unfortunate break last night, 0 for 5 at the plate, being the DH. Takes that one up high inside. Ball 1. Fans already kind of getting on the umpire crew here early on in this ball game. And that one also inside. I was actually had the pleasure to chat with Ron Shuchuk, the home plate umpire, just ahead of this game tonight, and was talking to him about how many championship finals have you appeared in? And he said, I've had something to do with them in the last 11 years, but he said in the last 5-6 finals he's been involved directly in behind the plate. And that's a strike on Brock Tiarina, 3-1. So he was taken all the way. 2-way, Brock Tiarina looking to keep the inning alive for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And he takes a big cut at that one to go up, or to go now full count, 3-2. Well hit ball down the left field line, and it's going to drift foul. So Brock Tiarina will have to come back. The Regina Red Sox in the playoffs, 5-2 this season. They are outscoring their opponents this postseason, 49-35. Sox were down 7-5 in Game 1 versus Saskatoon, but then came back with a single runs in the 6th and 7th, then adding one more in the top of 11 to hold on for an 8-7 win against the Berries in Game 1 of that Eastern Final. Brock Tiarena takes this one for a ball, and he'll keep the inning alive by taking first base on a walk. And also, I was thinking to myself yesterday as we take a look at this play here, and it actually grazes Brock Tiarena, so it'll be a hit batsman getting him over to first. I was wondering after last night's game, the way that the Red Sox came back, they piled up 17 hits, well, 16 that they changed on point streak heading into today. Has the team really come back facing elimination in the second game of the final, the WCBL final? Well, turns out last year that exactly happened. Moose Jaw was down 7-3 against the Okotoks Dogs. Heading in to the bottom of the 8th inning, Moose Jaw would then pile up 5 runs alone to go up 8-7, where they held on for an 8-7 victory to take it to Game 3 against the Okotoks Dogs. So it has happened, ladies and gentlemen. And then, of course, we noticed that the Okotoks Dogs bounced back in that Game 3 and ended up being the victorious winners with a walk-off run to complete the 3-in-a-row championship titles for the Dogs. So if you're a Sylvan Lake Gulls fan, just saying, maybe there's some hope out there that it has been done. Teams can rally after a heartbreak and being stunned like that in a big game. And this is grounded to second baseman Zaid Brannigan. He'll flip it over to James Wright for out number 3. So only one base runner stranded for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, but one hit, big double play. The Regina Red Sox still hold on to a 1-0 lead coming to the top of the second. You're watching Gulls baseball on Flow College.
Hey, baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows, including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Well, Matthew McKenzie ended the top half of the first inning on an incredible play. The ball taking the glove right out of his hand, and then he maintained his composure, flipped it over to first baseman Aiden Macaris, and ended that inning with the Red Sox pressing once again. They lead still 1-0 here in the top of 2. As Matthew McKenzie still on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And I think if you're the Sylvan Lake Gulls, the amount of pitchers that they went through last night, the arms that they've been using this postseason, if they want to have a really good chance in an ideal world, they want to get at least probably 6-7 innings of work from this guy, Matthew McKenzie, and then be able to turn to the bullpen. And you have Tavares, you have Tucker, and then you kind of have maybe a couple other arms that might be able to make their appearance in this game. This is Riley Bender, the DH for the Red Sox. Count now 1-1. And off speed, has him swinging there. 1-2 the count. Good pitch there by McKenzie. Matthew McKenzie from Vaughan, Nova Scotia. Goes to Colby Community College. Originally grew up in Toronto until he was about 16 years of age, and then his parents and family moved out to the East Coast, and I'm sure they're watching in right now. If they're not here at the game, they'll probably be watching from the East Coast right now. So hi to the McKenzie family if you're watching. And the off speed comes in, fouled off. Count remains 2-2. Sylvan Lake Gulls in the playoffs, 5-1. Last night being their very first loss this postseason. They've been outscoring their opponents 39-21. Riley Bender really fighting this at-bat off. Having a really good at-bat. Of course, Sylvan Lake, this is their first WCBL final appearance, but that is not the case for the Regina Red Sox, and maybe that could be a slight advantage the Red Sox have coming into this game. They checked down to the first base umpire, Trevor Drury. Did he go around? No, he did not, so it'll be a ball, full count to Riley Bender. The Regina Red Sox have been in this position before, have appeared in a number WCBL finals, and this is lifted into shallow center field, but getting there on his horse is Kyle Lewis for out number one. Good contact by Bender. Wasn't sure if that was going to land in time, but the speedy Kyle Lewis gets there to get the glove on it, get out number one. That'll bring up the hero, the season hero for the Regina Red Sox, Justin Simard, who had the tying run, top half of 9 last night, to keep the Red Sox season and hopes of the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy alive. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Kenzie really good with working that off speed. Comes in with a fastball, and that's going to land in shallow right field for a base hit. So 3 hits already on the night for the Regina Red Sox. And that's something that no team this postseason has been able to quiet down as these bats. They have had everything going well for them offensively. Just a matter of the timely at-bats that they're focused on now. Jordan Tucker to the plate, takes first pitch strike. Tucker batting .276 this season. 29 at-bats, 8 hits, and only 2 walks. No RBIs, no home runs. He's down 0-2. And a swing and a miss. Great pitch there by Matthew McKenzie. Gets his first strikeout of the night. And up goes the K on the fence. So that'll bring up back to the top of the batting order, number 20, Raphael Jackson, who, as I mentioned last night, he was one of the key factors, if not the main factor, that the Regina Red Sox did what they did last night. He went 4 for 6, scored 2 runs, crossed the plate 2 times himself, and drove in 1 run. He just couldn't miss with the bat. And he's quickly down 0-2. McKenzie had him out in front of that one. Two-way 0-2 to Raphael Jackson, runner over at first. That's Justice Mart. He's going on the run. Here comes the throw, and it's all the way out to this outfield. But it's not going to matter because that was another delayed called strike by home plate umpire Ron Shuchuk. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls put up a goose egg on the Regina Red Sox and will come to the bottom of the second thanks to this man on the mound, Matthew McKenzie, with a strikeout.
Hey, baseball fans, make sure to stay up to date with your favorite teams across the league by subscribing to the WCBL YouTube channel right now. We have tons of free coverage for you over there, including daily highlights, full archived game broadcasts, daily game day previews, plus 2 weekly shows, including the WCBL Report with myself and Joe McFarland every Wednesday, and also the WCBL Game of the Week pregame show leading right up to game time every Thursday night. It's all in one spot, the WCBL YouTube channel. Subscribe today.
Chris Bry back on the mound for his second inning of work. Red Sox up 1-0 here in the bottom of 2. Incoming to the plate is our EG Auctions player of the game from last night, Michael Quick. 2 RBIs, 3 for 5 at the plate. And he was the batter that got things started for the Sylvan Lake Gulls offense last night, driving in the first run. Runs, I should say. And watches that pitch go by for ball 2. Regina Red Sox, last championship won in 2012 as this is grounded to second baseman. Fielding that will be Zaid Brannigan, and he'll make an easy play over to first in time for out number 1. That'll bring up catcher, playing and getting a start tonight, Junior Garcia. And we know this guy can hit a ball. Very excited to see what he can bring in a big moment like today. So we take a look at Garcia's numbers. He's quickly down 1-0, but Garcia, just trying to find it here for you, ladies and gentlemen. Give me one moment. 200 on the year, but he's got 16 RBIs from the regular season. And he's quickly up 3-0. I'm guessing he's going to be taken away all the way on this one. He's had 19 hits this summer. And he is taken all the way, which will then draw a walk. 4-pitch walk to Junior Garcia. That'll bring up Aiden Macaris, also with a heavy bat. First baseman, one of the oldest players on the Sylvan Lake Gulls.
The first baseman, number 24, Aiden Macaris.
Red Sox with 3 hits to the Sylvan Lake Gulls 1. It's a 1-0 Red Sox lead, bottom of 2, 1 away here. Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy in the ballpark tonight. And it will be going to one team, one way or the other this evening. Now we got a meeting on the mound here. After 6 straight balls pitched without one strike to the youngster of Chris Spry on the mound. So coach is going to come out, settle things down a little bit. And speaking of Coach Ry Pathako is the head coach for the Regina Red Sox. I had the pleasure to chat with him, and what a life that guy gets to live. He, in the wintertime, coaches out in Greece. He's got a house in Greece, and he coaches the Greek national team. And he's done a lot of traveling and a lot of things. He says he's 67 years old. He's hoping by age 70, that'll probably be his final year of baseball, and then he'll retire with his wife out in Greece and live out there permanently full-time. Talked about what he gets to do in his free time, swimming in the ocean, one of his favorite things to do. And he goes way out in the middle of kind of nowhere, swims with big turtles and all the fun stuff. Pretty cool. I mean, that's a life to live for sure. And not a lot of time in between baseball seasons. As you said, he's already got his flights booked for the 18th. So in 2 days, he's heading right back to Greece to get ready for that season. So it's a busy lifestyle if you're a coach in baseball. 3-1 to Aiden Macaris, 1 away, runner at first. And it's another walk for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So Aiden Macaris takes his base. That'll bring up the Grand Slam hitter back in Okotoks in the West Finals, Simon Baker, to the mound. Baker this regular season hitting .252, 131 at-bats, 4 home runs, 33 hits. And he takes the first pitch for a called strike. In the playoffs, he's hitting .240. 6 hits, 5 RBIs. Now has a 1-1 count. 1 away. Gulls, the first time of the night, in scoring position. That's Junior Garcia over at second. Aiden Macaris at first, 1-1. Baker takes a cut at that, goes right off the bat and off the helmet of the umpire in Ron Shuchuk, and he's telling, oh, I'm fine, everybody, all good. Play on. We're good. So that'll be a 1-2 count now to Baker. 1 away. And the Gulls could really use one to land fair and in the gap here. That comes inside. But they're going to call it. As another delayed call from Ron Shuchuk. Is a strikeout, and he hears it from the crowd here in Sylvan Lake. Let's take a look at this First Stone Property Management replay. And yeah, that's close. So 2 away. Chris Spry trying to save himself here on the mound. Pressure starting to mount for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Kyle Lewis at the plate now. He had that big RBI triple last night. That kind of sprung some energy in this Sylvan Lake crowd, and he'd be looking to do it again tonight. I'd be lying to say if he wasn't. 1-0. Not in for a called strike. And this is well hit, but right to the second baseman, Zayd Brannigan, a little hop, skip, and a jump, comes away with that one. And the Regina Red Sox escape the pressure that Sylvan Lake Gulls were mounting and keep them off the scoreboard. 2 more runners stranded. It's still a Red Sox 1-0 lead. When we come to the top of the third, we'll have a special guest coming your way here shortly.
Have you ever wondered if there's one thing that connects people from across our province? Something that connects the coffee shop to the spray park, or the brewery to the rodeo, the campground to the sports field, the friend next door with your family in the next town, the dealership with the ice cream shop. It's pretty amazing when you think about how it's all connected, because it truly is. And it's all we think about, so you don't have to.
Welcome back to Sylvan Lake and Gulls Baseball and Flow College, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. There's a shot of the crowd just behind the home dugout, and here's a shot in the broadcast booth. Hey, everybody. And joining me, I told you I have a special guest. Wasn't lying to you. I wasn't fibbing you. This is pitcher number 37, Kai Rampa. You're wondering, why is a pitcher up in the broadcast booth in a big game like this? Well, Kai is probably done for the season. Easy to say that right now, and you came in last night, and you've seen this Red Sox firsthand. Just tell us a little bit about this offense that the Red Sox have brought to you guys in this series.
I mean, they're a great hitting team. I mean, they don't strike out a lot, but the biggest thing they do is they take the pitch the other way. And a lot of teams, you know, they're going for that big swing. They just string base hits after base hits together, and they just pound that right side for those righties. And, you know, they come up with those big clutch hits. But, I mean, their defense is incredible, and, you know, their sticks, they never go away. I mean, you saw it last night. They were in to the end. I mean, you know, close ball game. They just didn't let off the gas pedal, and they just it was scrappy. Probably the best way to put it.
Scrappy team. Well, they are technically considered the underdogs coming into this postseason, and have really taken the whole league by storm to get to where they are right now. Zaid Brannigan, the guy at the plate right now, facing a 2-1 count to Matthew McKenzie. Matthew McKenzie, good buddy of yours, obviously, getting the start here tonight. No surprise, but what can you say about maybe him tonight, and is this a guy that can handle moments like this?
Absolutely. I mean, he's done it all year. I mean, he was our pitcher of the year. I mean, he goes out there and he competes. You know, he's got a great heater, and he's got a great changeup. He's got a lot of great off-speed pitches, but he pounds his zone.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, right there, even with that walk, you know, he's kind of all around it. But, you know, I mean, it is what it is. That's baseball. You know, sometimes, you know, you're gonna miss your pitch, and sometimes, you know, they beat us and go your way.
Yeah, Red Sox have a really good eye for the ball right now too. They're just seeing everything well, and they're hitting everything well. As we bring up Matthew Fox to the plate, he had a base hit back in that first inning, and he'll get his second at bat here this evening in the Game 3 of the WCBL final. Again, Kai Rempel up here in the broadcast booth. This is well hit into left field, and Matthew can't quite get there as that drops down, and he'll throw it in quickly, but that's going to be a stand-up double for Matthew Fox.
Yeah, that guy hits.
Yeah.
That's a guy that, like, when you're looking at this lineup, I mean, game 1 against Regina, we didn't really know much about this team. You know, we haven't played him. That was the guy that we all had circled. I mean, he's a great hitter. I mean, he went 5 for 6 with a home run, 3 singles and a double. I mean, you know, last night, you know, he was, you know, incredibly defensively, and I think he had a hit. He
actually didn't go with a hit last night. They kept him off the score sheet last night with the bats, but he made some really good plays.
Yeah,
over at short.
I mean, he's 2 for 2 now. He's got a double and a single. I mean, he's just
exactly.
You know, that's a guy who can play the game right. So I'll give him, as much as I, you know, hope to see the Gulls win, you know, that guy plays the game the right way.
Well, they had the right guys step up at the right moments last night. And yeah, as you say, Matthew Fox, you know, he's one of the top batters for this Regina Red Sox. He was actually quiet last night, but then everybody around him rallied and got things done for the Red Sox. You know, this season was unique in a way for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. It wasn't a season that you guys were, just absolutely destroying the league and going, beating the league by storm. You guys really had to earn every single win. You guys were a 500 team basically at one point. You went on this Saskatchewan road trip, ended it in Regina with a back-to-back losses and a doubleheader. You come home. We understand that there was some meetings from coaching staff with some of the veteran players, and then things turn around 26-9 from June 22nd on. What can you say about the season and the adversity you guys faced this year as a team?
I mean, I'm going to put it this way. Last year was, that was a team that, was just we just overpowered teams last year. Rain or shine. I mean, if we didn't even have our best stuff, like our offense was there enough to, go carry a game. Like our pitching staff didn't have to be on, and we'd put up, 12 runs a game, and we could win. So,
yeah.
But this year was kind of a learning experience that you can't just go out there and coast through a game and expect to win. And after that SAS road trip, that was kind of a wake up call that maybe we aren't as good as we think we are. And, maybe it was a tough pill to swallow at first, but we kind of just stuck to ourselves. We're losing players, guys were kind of dropping, guys were getting hurt, we just had to push through the adversity. I think at one point we were 8th on the depth chart in all the WCBL, so that was like, never has Sylvan ever done that. So
right,
it was I don't know how to put it, but it was best I could say. It was just something that we had to put behind us. It was a tough. You go to Weyburn, you lose in Weyburn. It's not ideal, but it's not the end of the world. That was kind of the halfway point. And we said, what, the second half we're gonna do what we can to get as far as we can. Be the best ball club that we can. So.
And how impressed are you with this team that how they have gelled and how they have come together, in that last half of the season and just turned it to a whole different level? And now you find them. You guys are in the WCBL final for the first time ever.
Yeah, I mean,
wild.
I think the biggest thing was just there's a lot of guys weren't really close. There's a lot of moving parts. People didn't really know how to play, but we had a lot of guys that haven't played any innings whatsoever, and a lot of guys kind of had to get their feet wet, and that was a big thing for us. And once guys kind of got their feet under them and started to kind of play ball, we kind of learned each other's strengths and weaknesses. Different guys moving up and down the batting order, but different guys coming in different spots for pitching wise and different starters. We lost a couple guys. We thought Cam Diaz was going to be one of our starters, and then he kind of gets injured and his arm's bugging him. So guys had to fill in different roles. I mean, Matt McKenzie. I mean, he was looking like he was going to be one of our closers, and then all of a sudden decided to be, I'm just going to be the stud starter, and I was all for it. So I just think it was a lot of learning each other, and I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah, well said. As Matthew McKenzie walks James Wright, and runners on the corner now with only one away. Red Sox just recently adding to their lead thanks to a sacrifice ground out RBI from Brady Bye. And that will prompt a little meeting on the mound from Matt Hape. No warm-ups in the bullpen just yet. Sylvan Lake Gulls hoping to, get a few more innings, I think, out of Matthew McKenzie before throwing somebody else in the bullpen, because as you know, the bullpen was pretty active last night.
Yeah, that was a big bullpen game. Josh Dolich, he did what he could, but they were making good swings at the right time. And it was I got the call pretty early. Second hit of the game, I got the, hey, Kai, go get hot. I'm like, what?
Hey,
I'm looking at Matt. I'm looking at the pitch coach Matt Hape. I'm like, are you dead serious here?
Yeah. Because that's kind of what I was saying to some guys off air and things like that. Some like Gulls really haven't been tested like that with the bullpen that early on in a ball game, especially this postseason. So that's, I think, the key for the Regina Red Sox is that they made a heck of a night for the pitchers on the mound.
Absolutely. I mean, I look at like one of my outings. I went out there. It wasn't just electric stuff blowing by guys at any point. It was pitch to contact. You were hoping these guys would get an early ground ball right to a guy. And, these guys are great hitters. And, our pitching staff has been dominant throughout the year. I think that's kind of been the backbone of this team, of the pitching staff. I mean, the hitters have showed up.
This one gets by, so it's a wild pitch. The throw at home, but taken out is Matthew McKenzie at the plate, and another run comes in to score after a little bit of a wild pitch there from Matthew McKenzie. As we take a look, and that one just gets away from him. So Sylvan Lake Gulls, for the first time this postseason, finding themselves down early and by a decent margin, 3 runs now.
Yeah, but that's
It's
the
early
thing.
though, and
Like,
that's
yeah.
baseball. I mean, you take a look at Regina Red Sox, what they did last night. They didn't get down on themselves when they were down 5-1 at one point. They found a way to come back, chip away, and get back into the ball game. So it's lots of time. That's a good news for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. But the Regina Red Sox picking up exactly where they left off last night with 4 hits already, and we're in the top half of third 3.
I mean, I'll say this. I mean, you look at the last 2 innings. I mean, one call in the first inning kind of, kills the momentum, and then double play ball. But then, I mean, you look at that last inning. I mean, runners on first and second there with 2 outs. I mean, Kyle Lewis puts a great swing on a ball and just finds a glove. But if you keep putting pressure like that, one of those is going to fall.
Absolutely.
There's 9 innings of baseball. There's no way 9 times out of 10 that every single time hits that guy's glove.
Yep, no, for sure. Well said. And Matthew McKenzie with a terrific play on the mound with the glove. Gets underneath, but Yokomoto's going to follow up on it, make the throw over to third, and the tag out for out number 2 as they get the leadoff runner. A nice heads-up play there by Yokomoto to take the lead runner.
Oh yeah, that's what an experienced shortstop. That's what pays to have. I know we had Gavin Roy last year, but I mean Yokomoto was huge. Like that's a huge addition. Like, we didn't have that on the SAS road trip. Having a veteran shortstop that is top of the order. He's gonna put a great AB. How many foul balls does that guy get at bat? I mean, it's absurd. I'd hate to pitch that guy. I mean,
exactly.
My pitch count would be at 10 before I even get remotely close to an out.
Yeah, high respect for him. Absolutely, a really good at bat. The reason the lead bat for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And then you take a look at the third baseman next to him. That guy, Anthony Gilbert, since he came in, he also had a pretty big impact early on too.
Oh yeah. I mean, when he showed up, it was like,
The runner going to second here. Here's the throw from Garcia, and it's in time. So big plays like that, moments, Sylvan Lake exactly what they needed, and they will come to bat on the bottom of the third with a great play and a great throw from Junior Garcia and Jaden Flores. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball. Another great crowd here in Sylvan Lake for this final game of the WCBL Final Championship. But we understand that there's a crowd out there watching from home, and it might be something related to this guy next to me, Kai Rempel. And Kai, you have some family, to my understanding, out in Kelowna watching this one. Who do you want to say hi to?
I want to say, first of all, hi to my dad. I know my Nana and Papa are out there too, and also the Weatherlys are out there. So, I wanted to say hello to them. I wish I could be there, but, got a ball game to win here. So shout out to you guys for watching.
Right on, and a great place to watch at that. Kelowna, I'm sure there's worse places to watch a baseball game from, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You're missing out on a pretty nice trip by the sounds of it.
Oh, yeah. Right on the lake. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Got a boat and everything.
Can't go wrong there, right?
Yeah, but issue is I'm on an airplane tomorrow.
I was just going to say, are you headed out that way, or where are you headed?
Yeah, I'm heading out to – I got to go back home, Calgary, and then I'm on an airplane to Kansas. Got to go back to Cloud.
Back to Cloud, yeah.
So that's exciting. But
yeah, for sure. Season already right around the corner. School season's here, and then crazy how time flies by.
I know. I still thought I had 2-3 weeks left, and now I'm like, oh crap, I gotta go.
I gotta get ready for school.
Oh, I haven't even packed yet. Oh, no.
Boy.
Yeah. So I got my passport.
0-2 to Yokomoto. He lifts his high, deep fly ball to right center field, and settling underneath of it, Raphael Jackson. So Yokomoto takes a pretty good cut under that ball for out number 1. Very similar to what we saw him do yesterday, where he just cut underneath of it, but it carried all the way
Yeah,
the distance.
it was a jet stream out to right. Like I mean, I saw that home run Mickey gave up. That thing, like, it was an okay swing, but that is not a swing that a ball leads
No,
on.
there was a lot of wind at that point. The storm, the rain was coming, and I think the wind really helped push that one over the fence.
Everything was just helping that ball go. The power of friendship and everything. I mean,
Exactly.
goodness.
Yeah. And that's a called strike on Jaden Flores to start things off for him.
Yeah.
3-0 Sox lead it.
Two different zones I'm starting to look at since I've been up here. I mean, is what it is. But
yeah, and I mean, as a pitcher, it's probably hard to think of as this is on the ground and the throw in time for out number 2, the 6-3 play. But yeah, I mean, as a pitcher, do you obviously get an understanding of what the umpire is going to be calling for the night? So do you start to use that maybe to your advantage, or or is it just like, do you still pitch what you think is going to be called? And I mean, you got to adapt, I suppose, at that certain point in the night.
I think you got to more adapt to the hitter. I think if you make your pitches, you're going to have more success than having the umpire control you. I know my dad said the best. You got to control the controllables. You can't control what the umpire's doing behind the dish. You can't control what your defense is doing behind you. You can't control the hitter. You just got to make your pitch.
Nice. Yeah.
If Tripp puts down fastball inside, I better get inside. Like that thing, leaks up and in, and maybe that gets hit. So what? You make your pitch. People are, these hitters are good. They're good enough that if you make your pitch, they might hit it. But bottom line is you can't let the umpire decide what you're doing as a pitcher. That's just the rule of thumb.
That's well said. I mean, it's one of those things that you just have to. You can only control what you can control. You can't control what else is going to happen. So that's well said, and good teachings by your father. By the sounds of it, he knew what he's doing.
Yeah, he didn't play too much baseball. I won't lie, but he did his research.
He's a good coach.
Yeah,
good coach bringing you up. That's awesome. Good stuff to hear.
Taught me how to hit a knuckleball. He'd throw those in the yard. I mean, for the longest time, I couldn't touch him.
Yeah.
He tried to make me a left-handed hockey player. That didn't happen.
No.
I mean, he tried to make me a switch hitter at one point. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Oh, yeah.
But, he found his way with making me a pitcher.
There you go. Did something right. Okay.
I'll give it to him.
Good props. Says Tiarina on the ground right to Zade Brannigan, who has had a lot of balls hit his way tonight, and a 3-up, 3-down inning snuffs out the Sylvan Lake Gulls. The Red Sox still stay in control of this one, up 3-0 heading in the top of the fourth. We'll be back for one more inning with Kai Rempel when we come back. Back here in Sylvan Lake, there's a shot of the field. Beautiful night here on a Saturday evening, August 16th, 2025. And it's a gorgeous one at that for this WCBL championship final. Game 3, winner takes all. Matthew McKenzie on the mound for his 4th inning of work. He's given up 4 hits, 3 runs have scored, and 2 errors so far credited to the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So not necessarily the start they were looking for defensively, but definitely looking to crack down on that, as this is hit well, but into foul territory down the third base line. We are here with Riley Bender, the DH, and also in the broadcast booth with the pitcher, Kai Rempel, number 37 for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, getting ready to head back to Cloud Community College.
Yep.
And yeah, just like that.
Yeah,
Get ready for another season of baseball.
absolutely. I mean, it'll be fun. The summer is awesome. I mean, last year I left too early to experience playoffs, so this has been a treat.
Yeah,
going
you've been
this
able to actually
far.
stick around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, what was the difference in being able to stick around this year than maybe last year? If you could share with us, is it up to the coaches down there that maybe allow you to stay a little longer?
Yeah,
or-
Chatty pulled some strings for me and Simon because Simon's going to Cloud Community College as well.
Right.
So he pulled some strings to help me and Simon stay a little bit longer and be contributors in this playoffs.
Well, there's a big K for Matthew McKenzie on the mound. That's his third strikeout of the evening, and a great pitch there as he sinks that one in there.
Oh yeah, that was disgusting.
As Kai Rempel would say, that is disgusting.
I mean,
I love getting a pitcher up here because you guys you understand and you respect those pitches so much, right?
I mean, you making that pitch is, I don't know. I'm glad I gave up hitting. I couldn't touch that.
There's another strike. So Matthew McKenzie's starting to get a little bit into a roll here.
Yeah. I think he's got a blister on his middle finger.
I saw that. I was going to talk
blister.
about it. I was like, do I share or leave that much information? But anyway, the cat's out of the bag anyways now. But he was telling me before the game last night, that's kind of, he said just a couple days ago, it was really, it was really bad. But he's fighting through a little bit of an injury, if you will. I mean, that's not easy can't be easy to throw a ball when you got blisters on your hand like that.
Put some stuff on it. I don't know what he put on it.
And bandage him up, I guess.
Yeah, you got to be a different breed to go out there and
check swing safe.
You got to be a different breed to go out there and pitch through pain like that.
Huck 'em and chuck 'em, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's one of those. Even with a Band-Aid on your hand, it feels different. Like if you play any sport, that a Band-Aid does still kind of get in the way if you feel it. And this is lifted into center field. Kyle Lewis settling underneath of it for out number 2. Makes it look pretty easy.
Yeah, like I look back like yesterday, I'd have cut on my finger.
Yeah, I see that. You got tape on your pointer finger there.
Yeah, right here. So it kind of goes right on the nail. It's kind of a bad hangnail, but what happened was the skin split. So the skin split like that, and it was just gushing pus out of it. And I was like, oh,
ouch.
So I taped it up, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm throwing or whatever. And then I get the call, and I'm just like trying to rip this thing off.
I got to get going.
Because as a pitcher, you feel a lot of things off your pointer finger.
I suppose, yeah.
That's a big feel point for a pitcher. So when as a 4-seam fastball, it comes off that seam, and you really want to grip that seam. Anything interfering that, kind of make the ball do something that you're not comfortable with. So, I had to rip that off, and I just had to kind of push through that because I couldn't do it with tape on. Like I have no idea where a fastball would go.
Well, you did a pretty good job in your last outing this summer as a Sylvan Lake Gull. 3 innings pitched, only gave up 3 hits, but no runs at all. And 3 Ks as well. So I would say that's pretty good work by Mr. Rempel himself.
A lot of threes on that board.
There's a lot of threes. Yeah, I don't know what that means, but
yeah, and
it's a 3 kind of day.
Yeah, 3-run lead. Just finished up the 3rd inning. I mean, this is.
Maybe buy a lottery ticket.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I don't
maybe if there's
think
some
so.
3s on a lotto ticket, you might want to jump on it.
If we win, I might hop on.
There you go. Yeah, absolutely.
Can't get too invested in that.
Exactly.
Never pays off.
This is off the fist straight to Aiden Macris, and he's going to beat out the run just in the nick of time. So the Gulls get a much-needed 3 up, 3 down. But how about Matthew McKenzie? He's still doing the things he's supposed to be doing, and there's another K on the board for Matthew McKenzie. We'll be back to the bottom of the 4th. Thank you, Mr. Kai Rempel, for joining us.
Absolutely.
And we go back to the crowd here in Sylvan Lake. Just again, another gorgeous night here for a Game 3 of the Western Canadian Baseball Final Championship on the line. And in the broadcast booth, we're just rotating in and out guests here upstairs. But
back to the principal's office we go.
Back to the principal's office we go. But happy to welcome in from Alberta Dugout Stories, both Alberta and Saskatchewan, ladies and gentlemen. Joe McFarland joins us upstairs. Thanks, Joe, for taking some time today.
An honor, a privilege, long-time listener, first-time visitor.
There you go. Well, we're happy to have you coming in and being able to really get the best seat in the house. If I don't say so myself, I might be slightly biased, but I like where I'm sitting every single night here at Gulls Field.
You just need a fan in here, just a little bit of AC, and then you're good. I mean, toasty. I'm built this way for a reason, right?
This is well contact in the left field, but that's going to be caught by Jordan Tucker. So Anthony Gilbert gets some really good wood on the ball, but right to the left fielder in Jordan Tucker. So, I got to ask you, you've been a big-time follower of this league for quite some years now. What's your thoughts on this series right now?
This is exactly what you want out of a final series, isn't it? When you think about two teams who walked in as kind of underdogs, right? The Regina Red Sox come in as the underdogs against Saskatoon Berries and roll through them. Same with the Sylvan Lake Gulls, going to Okotoks and sweep the Dogs and finally get as Jim said it at the end of the game, the dog off the back.
Yep.
These are two very evenly matched teams, very similar build. It was a lot of small ball through the playoffs, and we're getting that. We've seen a little bit of everything. It's what the fans have wanted over for a final series. So it's been great drama from inning one right through to now being in the bottom half of the fourth.
Yeah, it's a cool story because, as you mentioned, Regina Red Sox kind of playing that underdog right now, in this game. But then someone like Gulls, you look at them, still have yet to even make the WCBL final. This is their first appearance and still have yet to win a WCBL championship, obviously, as I previously stated. So, if you're a fan that maybe you're not a Red Sox or a Gulls fan, you kind of like to see either team win it because at the end of the day, it's a big deal for both.
Yeah, and for both communities too, right?
Absolutely.
When you think about Regina, for example, and having not been in a final since 2019, not having won it in a few years now before that, and to your point, in Sylvan Lake, coming in 2021 in that COVID abbreviated season, kind of getting the test run of things with 5 teams in the league at the time, and really hammering it out and really getting that opportunity year after year to get in that West final, and to just come up short, and it just heartbreak after heartbreak, as Jason Chatwood told me at the end of game 2 against Okotoks. And here we are on the big stage. You wanted home field advantage. You got it. A beautiful night here in Sylvan Lake as well. Can't ask for anything better. Aside from if you're a Sylvan Lake Gulls fan, you'd like to see a few more hits and we'll call it puck luck. If this was hockey, you'd be wanting a little bit of puck luck for the hometown Gulls.
And that's the thing. The Regina Red Sox have done a really good job of playing clean baseball in this last game, and even so far tonight, they have been just right to a T. They have been playing the way they've wanted to here in Game 3, up 3-0 as Michael Quick doing a really good job staying alive at this at-bat, having a good at-bat right now. Gulls down 3-0. Sox out hitting the Gulls 4-1. Gulls with the 2 errors already on the scoreboard to start this ball game. Again, love to have Joe McFarland here in the broadcast booth. Kale Clark with you on Flow College, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. Michael Quick will ground this right to Matthew Fox. He'll make the throw, and maybe there's the puck luck we were talking about, but ball luck, that is.
You could tell just the little squibbler, and it took a little bit of a hop. And Matthew Fox had to adjust a little bit as he let go of that baseball. And just kind of the angle he let go of it, it was going to be going skyward a little bit. And a real good attempt at that catch at first base and just coming up a little bit short. So, again, this is something where I was sitting on the Sylvan Lake bench for the first couple of innings there, and you could tell it's a little tense, obviously. This is the first time they've been in this situation. You just need that little something. You need that thing to get you feeling good. They had a really clean inning that last half. And so watch what happens here if they can capitalize on this and even if they get a run out of this, or even if they'll get that feeling, hey, we've got to them now.
Well, and I think the biggest difference too for the Sylvan Lake Gulls is, this season, that especially that second half, you pointed out really good previewing this playoff series. You and Clark Monroe, you guys have done a terrific job with the WCBL. This has popped right out to center field, so this might kill a little bit of that momentum buzz that we were talking about, as coming in is Ian Mons to make the grab. But, I think the thing for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in that dugout is that last half of the season, they were playing and just having fun. They weren't taking it too seriously. They were having fun. They're goofing around. I mean, they're still kind of doing that in the bullpen, playing pass with the football, everything like that. But you noticed today and even yesterday, it was a lot more tense, a lot more serious, maybe not as relaxed and fun as they've been. And maybe they play better when they're more in a relaxed, fun state rather than that tense, it's serious state. So be interested to see how they handle this game tonight.
Yeah, and the other piece to this too is even being down 3-0, what they witnessed last night is proof that, hey, it's not over until the last throw is made.
True.
Right? Yeah. And so even if they're down, let's say going into the bottom 8 or bottom 9, they've still, and even last night going into the bottom of the 9th, yes, they're down 4-0, but they're starting to roll a little bit. If you get a little bit of luck, hey, you know what? It's a 10-9 ball game all of a sudden.
Exactly. Tyne Run was at first base.
this is where, you kind of have to let the nerves settle a little bit, and you have to be willing to play the long game a little bit, right? And this is the Sylvan Lake Gulls, to your point, have played excellent baseball post June 24th. They were 26-9 through their last 35, and then they go 4-0 to start off the playoffs, 5-0 actually. They know they've been here before. They've faced a little bit of adversity earlier on in the season. Lean on that experience and allow that experience to really shine here at Gull Stadium.
I love it. That's well said. Joe McFarland, ladies and gentlemen, from not only Alberta, but also Saskatchewan, Dugouts Stories. Check them out on podcast channels. 2-2 the count to Aiden Macris, 2 away, and he goes down swinging. So the Regina Red Sox, again, just leave a runner stranded over at first and will hold on to a 3-0 lead heading to the top of 5. When we come back, we'll have Joe with us. Sylvan Lake Gulls down 3-0. Matthew McKenzie back on the mound, my apologies, for his 5th inning of work. And he will face, starting things off back to the top of the batting order, Raphael Jackson. Step in now. Just a gorgeous night here. We're here with Joe McFarland from Alberta and Saskatchewan Dugout Stories. First pitch comes in for a called strike. So we talked about the Sylvan Lake Gulls, Joe, but now let's talk about the Regina Red Sox a little bit, as they've had a lot of experience. They've been here before. They've made now 3 or 4 straight playoff appearances, if I'm not mistaken, and they've also been upset in the final back in 2018 and 2019. But the last championship was in 2012 to finish off the back-to-back championships for the Red Sox. Does that give them a little bit of advantage? I know they're the underdogs, but technically they might have a slight advantage when it comes to the experience.
Yeah, there's a couple of different pieces at play for the Regina Red Sox in my eyes. One being there's a few guys on this team who are part of a East Division winning at least regular season champion last year. Brady Bye is an example, who have a bitter taste in their mouth after getting swept by the Moose Jaw Miller Express. And they came into this year and said, hey, we need to be hitting the right stride at the end of July. And they weren't an overwhelming team by any stretch this season. They were a close to 500 team. I think it was 39-37 during the course of the season. And you just got the feeling that there's nothing overwhelming about them. And then they go into Medicine Hat and sweep them. And everybody goes, oh, okay. Let's see how they play up against the top team in the league and the record breakers in Saskatoon. Take them the distance and have their way with them in especially game 3. And so everybody's kind of taking notice. These guys play clean baseball. Ryan Pathakos has said that's our key to victories. We can't make any errors. We can't make any dumb plays. We have to be playing, make the smart plays, make the simple plays, and away we'll go. And so far, so good for the Regina Red Sox in both games, honestly. Like game 1 was a game of inches.
Yeah.
And it just so happened that, who would have thought a stolen home would have been the deciding run in that game, right? Game 2, they kept with it as much as they were out hitting Sylvan Lake last night. They walk in and just kept with it. And then the 9th inning rolled around, and who would have thought 6 runs, right? They've been playing to that point. They've allowed 1 hit so far tonight.
They sure have. They've been just playing almost perfect baseball, if you will. Jaden Flores just making that catch on Raphael Jackson for out number 1, and this will bring up Zaid Brennigan. My apologies. I don't know why I stuttered there for a moment. I almost had a little bit of a freeze moment, but Zaid Brannigan celebrating his 22nd birthday. I found out from the coach of the Regina Red Sox. So that's pretty cool stuff.
There's been a few birthdays around here, and I know Trip Ray celebrated his birthday.
Dad was here.
Dad's
still
ago.
here. Yeah.
So,
Matty Fung also not long
true.
before that as well. Rob Fung here in attendance. Saw him last night down on the concourse. So some of the parents making the long trip up here to take in this WCBL final.
I would not be shocked if there's a few watch parties going on in Regina. So if you happen to be tuning in here on Local
absolutely.
College, welcome.
Yeah, welcome
glad to have
Regina
you aboard.
Viewers, of course. Great to have them. In fact, I was kind of reading the comments on the storyline of the Regina Red Sox with that big win last night, and I was reading some of the comments, and some of the fans were saying, "We're watching from Texas. We're watching from." So you got viewers from all around supporting this Regina Red Sox team right now. So welcome into all the Red Sox fans. Glad to have you tune in. Thanks for putting up with Joe and I here in the middle stages of this ball game.
This is the cool part about this league. I've said is I really call it a melting pot. Like a lot of leagues, you'll see, say for example, in Texas, and I'm sorry to single out Texas as an example, but there's a lot of Texas-born players who will play in Texas summer leagues, right?
Yep.
Whereas here in Canada, like you got your standard, few Canadians on board, but you've got players from all around North America, and frankly, this has become an international game now. We've got players from all over the world, it seems like, in this league this year. And not only that, it's different levels of ball too, right? You've got some guys who are high schoolers and just fresh, like graduated, and you've got guys who are fifth years who've played multiple years of NCAA Division I. And so it's really fascinating melting pot that you have up here. And so it's cool because we get the melting pot of players, but we also get a melting pot of audience.
Well said. Anthony Gilbert with a great play there over at third to beat out the run on Brannigan. 5-3 play, and now Gulls are quickly with 2 down, but how about this play? This is lifted into left center field. Great bat by Matthew Fox, stays perfect tonight. This guy is dangerous. Here's a guy that was quiet all last night, didn't have a single base hit. Now he's 3 for 3 on the night.
And he's kind of prone to those up and down swings because he's had a few games during this playoff run where you're like, MVP. Like, I know we don't want to be talking about this early on in a game, but he's had those moments where, like, okay, he's 5 for 5, 5 for 6, 4 for 5. And then, to your point, he goes quiet for a couple of games, and then he comes back, and now he's 3 for 3.
Yeah, it would make most sense for sure. He's definitely a candidate right now as he's going for second to steal. The throw just out of the reach for Yukimoto as he couldn't quite hold on to that grab, but I think Matthew Fox was there in time regardless. But a great steal there by the catcher. Or sorry, the shortstop, my apologies. I'm looking at Brady Bye's number right now. And that's Brady Bye now stepping up to the plate after Matthew Fox with a stolen base. 0-1 the count. Sox with now 5 hits to the Sylvan Lake Gulls 1, and that's something that stood out last night in the stats page. Is the Red Sox trailed for a majority of that ball game, but were out hitting the Gulls all night long and racked up by the end 16 hits. Now on the board here last night it was saying 17, but they made a correction on point streaks, so I think they are sticking with 16, which is all right. One notice I noticed too is Michael Quick wasn't credited any RBIs last night, but he had 2 to start.
I was
going
going
to
say, didn't he open
Yeah,
the game up with a
he
couple?
did. He was the guy that got things started for the Gulls. And how about that? Anthony Gilbert makes a catch there for out number 3. So they'll leave Matthew Fox stranded over at second, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls will come to bat out of the bottom of the 5th. We'll be back with Joe for one last inning when we come back. Again, we're happy to have you tuning along to Full College on Gulls baseball, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca. But I'm sure the fans are enjoying it just as much that are here at the game, taking in the experience on a hot summer day right behind the Sylvan Lake Gulls dugout. Just, everybody's hanging out, chilling. But this is a crowd that I think is waiting for something special to happen and really need some more base hits from the Sylvan Lake Gulls offense as the Gulls find themselves down 3-0 in the bottom of 5. This is Simon Baker, and Simon Baker's got a bat on him, as we've seen it in Okotoks not that long ago. And he thinks about the bunt and lets it go by for a called ball.
You get the feeling at some point during the course of this, and it might be this inning, where Jason Chatwood says, hey, we're going to have to squeeze a couple. We're going to have to, like Simon Baker showing bunt on that first one. That might be kind of the first sign of, okay, let's get a couple of base runners and let's do that methodical thing that we did in inning 2 in game 2 against Okotoks and manufacture a couple here, because we're getting down, not nitty gritty, but midway through the game now. It's about that time.
Yeah, and I mean, they'll take things
They'll
like
take
that
that
to
too.
happen. Getting on base the hard way as Simon Baker takes that one off the shoulder. Hit batsman, gets on base.
And on the flip side, if you're Chris Spry and the Regina Red Sox, it is, hey, we just got to keep going. Like, don't overcomplicate things. If you knock it down, get in its way. Don't worry about allowing a run here, but you can't be allowing a big inning at this stage of the game. It's very much, you're going to be nickel and diming the rest of the way.
Absolutely. And we've been seeing Spry do this quite a bit tonight, too, just when there is a base runner. It's keeping him pretty close over at first.
Keep him a little bit honest.
The left-hander, yeah.
As we've seen over and over and over again with the Sylvan Lake Gulls offense, is that they will take every inch they get.
Yeah, they're smart base runners. They're fast, too. There's a lot of speed on this offense, but hard to steal when you got a left-hander looking at you right in the eye.
Yeah, and it was interesting. I can't, if it was Yukamoto who was at first at one point, you could see them staring at each other. I was sitting like almost directly in beside essentially Chris Spry, and you're like, you can tell there's a stare off happening, and they're sizing each other up. And Simon Baker's got some wheels as well. So I mean, there's like I said, at this point, they'll take every base they possibly can get to get on the board and get into the minds of the Regina Red Sox.
1-0 the count to Kyle Lewis, and he watches that go by for a called ball. 2-0 the count now. Shadows getting long at this time of year. You see the ballpark and you see the shadows, and they are stretching quite a ways.
just a little ways away from that picturesque, beautiful sunset. It's a great blue sky, something we haven't seen a lot of this summer.
My goodness, what a summer it has been. You've nailed
Even
it.
last night, you're sitting there going, man, I want to see that sunset one more time. And we're going to get, by the looks of it, there's a little bit of cloud cover out to the west, but you're going to have the mountains in the background and all the beautiful trees and that. It's going to be,
we'll take it.
It'll be the perfect way of wrapping up the summer here at Gull Stadium.
Absolutely a perfect way to end the season, regardless who wins for either side. It's going to be a picturesque moment here tonight. And a big swing and a cut there by Kyle Lewis. Now count at full. And again, here's maybe where the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the fans need to pull something together to kind of get something going, as they've only got the one hit so far on the night. Lewis hits it hard right up the third baseline, stays fair, and they're going to send Baker over to third. And aggressive base running by both runners as Lewis gets over to second. Well, there you have it.
The Gulls Stadium crowd has awoken.
It has awoken. Yeah, that is what they have been waiting for a while now. And great.
Simon Baker starting the slide about halfway down the base path. And you're going, is he going to stop before he hits the base?
Yeah.
But he knew what he had to do. And again, you needed that kind of momentum. Now you're getting the fans into it. Now you can start to go, okay, let's feel this. Let's go here with 0 out still.
And that's the thing, that they got lots to work with here with runners in scoring position.
And top of the batting order.
Top of the batting order with Yukamoto. Yeah, great call there. And then, too, no bullpen action just yet.
Yep.
So they're going to leave it up to this guy and Spry to try to, get himself out of this inning. And the thing is, when you have games and you're at this point of stage in the season, this late on in the playoffs, you want to try to stretch out those arms as long as you can, because you really don't have a lot of healthy ones in the bullpen right now.
Well, and full credit to both starters in this one so far.
Yeah,
the last couple of innings in particular have been really clean from Matthew McKenzie. And on the flip side, Chris Spry has been fantastic to this point. Just the 2 hits to this point. It's one of those things where they're getting exactly what they needed out of their starters in the last game of the season.
Yukamoto sees that one go high. Now 3 balls to 0 strikes. You give the Yukamoto the green light here. We haven't seen really a green light happen much, if at all, this year. I'm thinking he's going to just be taken on this one. And he will be. And he waits for the call. Ron Shuchuk likes a little drama,
delay,
doesn't he? Doesn't he like a little drama a little bit? I think he likes to hold off that for a while just to see what the batter's going to do. But Yukamoto, good job not to throw the bat too soon in there.
We saw that earlier on, and you don't necessarily want to do it too early, because it might buy you a call a little bit later on, right?
Exactly.
Like the ebbs and flows of the game, especially at this point of the season, everyone can count, right? And you've seen it so far in this game. A couple of calls go one way, a couple calls go the other. They always even out. So you want to be in a spot where you can take
the full count. Runners at third and second, and it's up high for a walk. Bases loaded with 0 outs. Sylvan Lake's going to take that all day long.
If there's one,
go ahead. Yeah, I was going to say, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if there's one guy who would like a little redemption after last night, comes up to the plate now. Jaden Flores would love to knock in a couple of batters right about now.
And even with that said, maybe a redemption even from earlier tonight.
Yeah,
he had the exact same play. It was like a nightmare relive for him, because it was the exact same hit, same play, deep in the hole, kind of between first and second, slid to stop the ball, and then run scores because he couldn't quite grasp the ball in time. So
it's one of those things. I was saying to my partner in baseball crime, Ian Wilson at Alberta and Saskatchewan Dugout Stories, is the Regina Red Sox are one of those teams that Rai Patakos has it drilled into their heads of, hey, you make contact with the ball, you are running as fast as you can. And I get the sense, maybe from a Sylvan Lake Gulls perspective, is with a Jaden Flores, he goes down to grab the ball and looks up and he's like, oh, like most guys are kind of half jaunting down the first baseline. This guy's already just about to first base. You got to rush that throw a little bit more than you normally would in this situation.
Yeah.
Maybe it's one of those things where there's a sense of, I hate using the hockey terminology, but a sense of urgency that's going to start developing in plays like this. And Jaden Flores gets a chance to maybe I'll call it redeem himself after a couple of rough ones.
This would be perfect for him, absolutely. A bases loaded situation. Gulls down 3-0, 0 away here. Chris Spry looking to dig himself out of this hole, and Flores takes the first pitch swinging. So a little bit of maybe some urgency, as you mentioned, but in the bullpen for the Regina Red Sox now as we see some warming up going on. So Chris Spry might be getting near the end of his night here.
And on the flip side, nobody working out in the Sylvan Lake.
Nope. And Flores is going to do it. Plans this into left field. That's going to drive in 1 run. Simon Baker, and they're going to hold everybody else at the bases just to keep things in check. But how about Jaden Flores redeems himself?
This is where the Sylvan Lake Gulls have been so strong in the last couple of, I'll call it months of the season here, is they're not forcing anything. They're not sitting there trying to hit a 7-run home run. It's, hey, we're going to hit that. I'll go back to that 6-run second inning against Okotoks in game 2. It was base hit in the left field, base hit in the left field, base hit in the left field. Like, just simplify it, make contact, and see what happens. And that's what's been the bread and butter of the Sylvan Lake Gulls at this point.
100%. So bases stay loaded, still 0 away for the Regina Red Sox. And Brock Tiarena, the DH, will step into the plate. Guess who's warming up? Their ace, Aiden Page, number 40. You knew he was going to make an appearance in this game.
Especially as a senior, I have a feeling he might see multiple innings.
Yeah, and there he is there on getting loose. And yeah, like you said, senior pitcher. You know, I was talking to their head coach ahead of this one, Rai Prokopov, and he was saying there's nothing to lose with this guy. He's a senior. Like, why wouldn't you? So I think you're right. They're probably going to hope to use him for the rest of the night.
Well, and it's been interesting, too. I've been talking to a few just about, like, the observations of the playoffs so far. And it'll be interesting to see if Aiden Page still, I'll call it, has it. I don't have a doubt that he does. But what I've seen in the East especially, when you look at what happened to Moose Jaw, Weston Walls, who was their ace all year, looked at the end of that series against Saskatoon. His pitches were coming in flat, and Saskatoon took full advantage. Saskatoon's pitcher started to look flat against Regina. Regina takes advantage. Is this where maybe the Sylvan Lake Gulls see a little bit of flattening? We'll have to see. He's worked a lot of innings out of the bullpen, Aiden Page has. Let's see what happens here.
Well, Brock Tiarena is going to walk in a run here with a good eye at the plate. And now the Gulls only down 1.
They're seeing something. And that's going to beg an interesting question as Rai Pathakos does come out. And it looks like it's going to be the end of the night for Chris Spry, who put together a very, very valiant effort in the final game of this 2025 WCBL season.
He sure did. A big round of applause for him as we tip our caps to him as he will come off the mound here tonight. I'm sure the Sylvan Lake home crowd will also give him a warm welcome as they saw what he did at the early stages of the game and did not make it easy for the Sylvan Lake Gulls as the fans give him a little clap off the field. We'll take a quick break. We'll step aside while Aiden Page warms up. We'll be back with the remainder of the bottom of the 5th when we come back.
Your kids will need binders, pens, athletic shoes.
This is intense. How are you so calm?
I'm ordering everything from Walmart.
Glue, gifts, correction.
Talk to me in 2 hours.
We're still going to be here. Unicorn eraser.
Well, there is the Regina Red Sox ace pitcher, the most experienced, the senior himself, number 40, Aiden Page from Leedy, Oakland. He used to go to Southwestern Oklahoma, and he will come in with it. And he's had a busy playoff, hasn't he, Joe? He's had 4 games of work. He's got over 14 innings pitched, 15 strikeouts, 1-1 win-loss record, 2 saves, and he's given up 0 runs.
It has been incredible to watch this guy. You always expect some of these veteran guys to hit a next level, and we've seen it year after year after year. I go back to 2022 with Reese Helland and Moose Jaw as an example, where they're just like, I'll pitch until my arm falls off. And as such is sometimes the case. And I've said this pregame, is a guy that I wouldn't be surprised to see in this ball game at some point, if it's close, will be Josh Tucker for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, because here's a guy that's he's a senior. He's not going to school in the fall. So are they going to say, hey, we need you for 2 innings at the end of this one? We'll see what's needed and the moments, but these are the kinds of moments that that the seniors are built for.
Well, Page has an interesting situation that he's walked into right now. 0 outs, bases loaded. Gulls just recently adding 2 runs to bring themselves back to within 1. It's a 3-2 Sox lead. Page up in the count, 1-2 on Anthony Gilbert. Gilbert swings foul. This will go with the off-speed pitch, and that's, I think, something that Page is so well with. He can throw the fastball at 92, 93 miles per hour, and then he can slow it right down to the low 80s, high 70s.
And that's where I have a feeling Jason Chatwood and company are just saying, listen, bat to ball. Like, figure out how you can make some contact and hope you can find a hole out there, because they've exposed something, but they'll need to re-expose it with a new pitcher.
And a big pitch there inside. And up high, strikeout on Anthony Gilbert. He was a little unsure there for a second, and Ron Shuchuk made a call, but it's a good pitch there by Mr. Page himself for out number 1.
High and inside, heater at 90. What you kind of expected out of Aiden Page at this point in the ball game is he's going to throw the kitchen sink at you at this point, and so it'll be up to the Gulls hitters to make some adjustments here.
Absolutely. Michael Quick now steps in with 1 away. Bases loaded situation. Tie and run over at third. And that's an off speed that comes in just outside for ball number 1.
And he's, again, it's an interesting setup that he has in terms of going that off speed, and then he'll come back inside with some heat, and you're just kind of like, okay, that's a little closer than it should be, and oh, maybe not, and it's by you.
Yeah. It's tough to justify, though, and you got to make a decision quickly. As soon as that ball is basically leaving his hand, you got to make a decision. Am I swinging at this? Am I holding back?
It's one of those things that I never played high-level ball or anything like that, but I said to a few people is, I just want to step in the box and see 90.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even want to swing. I mean, I'd love to swing. I just want to see a heater at 90. I want to see Mickey McClaskey's 97. I just want to see what it looks like. And I know I'm not going to hit it. I know I'm not, but it's something else, and especially when they're hitting it like they have been.
This is hit right to third. They're going to try to turn the double play, and he's safe. So the tie and run comes in to score in Tai Yukamoto, and this game's all tied up, Joe.
Full credit to Michael Quick, as he came out of the box knowing full well that it was going to be a tough play for the Regina third baseman to make, and with that little bobble, bought him just enough time, but he was quick enough. Sorry to use the quick enough analogy,
no pun
but
intended, yeah.
He made it up there, and it made that play close enough that and he was safe by a good half step.
Well, the Gulls have finally now tied this game up. 3 runs in the bottom of 5 innings. Runners still at second and first, but they are down to their last out in this inning. Junior Garcia steps up to the plate now, looking to keep the 2-out rally alive. And that pitch inside for a called ball.
You can feel the energy in Gull Stadium has changed quite dramatically. I think there was a little pins and needles earlier. It's eased up a little bit now. And I think on that bench in Sylvan Lake, they're like, okay, we're back in this. Let's go. It's 0-0 again.
Yep.
And now you have 4 innings to do what you've got to do.
A completely different change in the atmosphere from literally just half an inning ago. And now there's a buzz in the crowd again. The Sylvan Lake Gulls, that buzz was the opposite. Buzz was there all game long until the bitter end, and then next thing you know, it was just heartbreak and stunned crowd and silence. You could hear a pin drop last night once Regina hit that extra one over the fence, especially to really ensure that win to take it to game 3. 2-0 the count to Garcia, and he hits this lightly right back to the mound. Page will field it and throw it in time, and they'll get out of this inning, but they did give up the 3 runs, which would tie this ball game. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Red Sox tied, heading to the top of 6. Joe, we'll let you get back to your seats, enjoy this ball game. Maybe we shouldn't, but thanks for joining us here tonight as the Sylvan Lake Gulls had a huge inning there, and the crowd's right back into it. Nice RBI there, Yukamoto across the plate. Thanks,
An
Joe.
honor and privilege, good sir.
Well, it's still unknown to knowing where this bad boy's going. The Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy in the ballpark, awaiting to be crowned to the new winner of the WCBL in 2025, as there's a lot of names on that trophy, and it's still awaiting who's going to be the next to be awarded that beautiful piece of, well, is it metal, I guess? I don't know, but this has popped up right to Jaden Flores. He calls everybody off. And he's going to make the catch for out number 1. First pitch swinging, popped up right to Flores. James Wright goes down for out number 1. Now it's a tie game, 3-3 between the Gulls and the Red Sox. It's going to come right down to the wire yet again, ladies and gentlemen. So you're not going to want to go anywhere. You're not going to want to change the channel. You're not going to want to probably even go on any bathroom breaks. You might want to wait for the commercial break before you do that, because you don't want to miss anything at this stage in the game. Matthew McKenzie still on the mound. That's the starter for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, getting his 6th inning of work. And that's what we were talking about before this game and in the pregame show, that this is a guy you're going to need to get as many innings out of if you can. And he did. And they've done just that with him. But they're going to obviously look to the bullpen. Things are starting to get a little bit more busier. And Leroy Tavares is lightly playing catch with Trip Ray right now. So he's slowly warming up. This may just be the final inning for Matthew McKenzie, and he's still doing his job, that's for sure. 1-2 the count to Ian Montz. Want to thank Joe McFarland again from Alberta and Saskatchewan Dugout Stories for joining us up here in the broadcast booth. Always nice to have somebody to talk to up here. Jim Claggett, broadcast partner, unfortunately away for the rest of the season and this weekend, so we want to say hi and thank you to Jim for all the terrific work that he has done this season with me, and brought a lot of good dad jokes and laughs to the live stream all year long. Two and two the count to Ian Montz. So far 0 for 2 on the evening. Strikeout number 4 for Matthew McKenzie. What pitch there, and he's loving it. He's happy with everything now. That'll bring up Riley Bender, the DH, 0 for 2 on the evening as well. 2 away. 3-3 tie. Red Sox out hitting the Gulls 5-3. McKenzie finds the strike zone with that first pitch to greet Bender. Also want to thank a guest before Joe McFarland, that Kai Rempel was up here just moments ago as well and gave us his insight on the season. And he'll be heading back to Cloud County Community College tomorrow on a flight. A lot of these guys will be flying back to their colleges and down to the States tomorrow. So McKenzie makes that pitch down and away, and they're going to check over to first, but he did not go around. 2-1 the count now. McKenzie getting upwards to almost 100 pitches here tonight. And he gets the strike zone there to even the count at 2-2. Two away. Matthew McKenzie's got another one. Strikeout number 5 on the night. And a 3-up, 3-down inning, and a big one at that for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Well done, Matthew McKenzie. It's almost like he's heating up as the night is going on. Wow. Strike 1. And how about strikeout number 2 when we come back? Bottom of 6th inning, still tied 3-3 between the Regina Red Sox and the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Here is Aiden Macris at the plate against Aiden Page. And Macris greets him with a base hit that finds the gap on the ground. And that is a great way to greet such a tough pitcher on the mound, Aiden Macris. He's a seasoned vet himself. And boom, him and I think, is that Kai Rampel over at first that has made his way down now to coaching first base? He's in the broadcast booth, then he goes down and helps coach first base. So there you go. Guy can do it all. Simon Baker now at the plate. Squares the bunt, lets it go by for a called ball. And you know, I was really interested to get to chat with Joe McFarland and getting his insight. We always appreciate impressive stuff. He really knows his baseball. But Aiden Page, with just the amount of baseball he has, you know, Joe McFarland made a good point saying, now can Page keep it going? Because that's a lot of ball in a short period of time. And can he work this many innings after, you know, being so busy as of late? It'll be interesting. And you know, you might not see his best stuff, where if he was coming in fresh where he hasn't pitched in 6-10 games, but he's warm and he's going to be giving all his best and leaving it all out on the field. That's for sure for the Regina Red Sox. 2-0 the count to Baker. Baker lets that go for ball number 3. First time Aiden Page has been behind like this in a count. And Baker lets it go by. 3-1. Taken all the way. 3-1 the count to Baker. Kyle Lewis on deck. Then we go back to the top of the batting order. And Baker watches that go by as well. A called strike up high, but just inside. So a full count to Baker now. Baker lifts this into shallow center field. That's going to be another base hit. That ball hit hard and up the middle. Great shot there by Baker. Keeps things going in the right direction. Now base runner in scoring position for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Let's bring up Kyle Lewis, who had that double back in the 5th inning. A big double at that. One for two. Kyle Lewis, he also had the triple last night. He's been feeling it as late. Squares to bunt, and he does just that, but a good catch. Oh, and then dropped. And now the throw goes wide of third base, and the Sylvan Lake Gulls are going to take their first lead of the ball game. So they're calling the original bat out that Page did catch that ball. So that makes things a little interesting as Simon Baker is now over at second. But Kyle Lewis will get credit. The RBI bunt, bunt out. He catches it, but then when he goes to, put it in his hand, then all of a sudden that throw goes wide. But now my question is, if they're calling it a catched out, did the runners have to tag up? Because I didn't see Aiden Macris tag up. Neither did I really see Simon Baker tag up. So the question could be, let's take a look at the whole play here. Let's take a look at the runners. Keep your eye on the runners here. The throw now goes straight to third. And okay, Simon Baker does tag up. However, Aiden Macris didn't. So maybe the Gulls get away with one here? I think the Sylvan Lake Gulls might have just gotten away with one. just saying. As Kyle Lewis caught out on the bunt to the pitcher of Aiden Page. And now they throw down a second to try and, test it, and they call him safe. So they're calling Aiden Macris' apparent. They're thinking he tagged at second. They're calling it safe. And now the coach is coming over to plead his case that Macris never did tag up and tag the base. So they're going to call an umpire meeting here. And this might be big here. This could be huge. Okay, the umpires this could maybe change the game here, ladies and gentlemen, because Macris never did tag up. So if the umpire crew come to an exclusive decision, this could work in their favor. But the coaching staff of the Regina Red Sox do have a good point here. And if that's the case, this game wouldn't be tied. It'd be 2-away, but you'd have Simon Baker over at second. So Ron Shuchuk explaining his side of the story. Everybody trying to get to an exclusive agreement here. This will be interesting. And Rob Allen, he's in amongst that conversation. This is a pretty big call to have to make, and to make sure it's right. And we'll look at it again after this decision's been made. So he's calling him safe. So the Sylvan Lake Gulls are getting away with one here, maybe. And I don't know, maybe there's an explanation that I'm not sure of ladies and gentlemen, back at home. But to me, that maybe should have been an out at second. But Ron Shuchuk might have a different case and a different reasoning to why it's not. But the head coach of the Regina Red Sox he's not very happy. He's giving his words of wisdom to Shuchuk. And we're just going to keep our eye on this. He's got to be careful not to get tossed. You don't want to get tossed in the final, especially in this point of the game. So Ron Shuchuk, okay, that looks like things are going to taper off slowly. And Regina Red Sox bench is fired up right now as the dugout is really having some words to say. And let's take a look at this one more time here. So the bunt comes in, it's caught. They're catching that calling that a catch, my apologies. And instantly, Ron Shuchuk's like, yeah, that's out. But then only Aiden Page knew, he didn't have to throw to third. He didn't think he caught that. So he threw to third. Little did he know, if he threw to first or second, that would have been a double play. Maybe even could have turned into a triple play, but for sure a double play. Anyways, that was a lot going on in that play. And the Sylvan Lake Gulls now lead at 4-3 with Tai Yukimoto at the plate. And only one away. Well, actually, yeah, one away. And now Ron Shuchuk's looking over to the Regina dugout. As guys have to be careful here. They're still not happy with that call. 0-1 the count to Yukimoto. And Page throws that as a ball. Simon Baker over at second. Gulls in scoring position to add to their lead. Talk about drama here in Game 3 of the Western Canadian Baseball League Final. That one is outside for another ball. So as we mentioned, we think because Aiden Page is a senior, this would probably be his game to finish up. But maybe if he runs in a little bit of trouble, you got to wonder who the Regina Red Sox would get ready for next. And that's down and away as well for ball 3, as Brady Bye tried to frame that as best as he could. Three and 1 the count to Yukimoto. One away. Gulls up 4-3 now. Aiden Page on the mound. And that will be a walk. That'll be Aiden Page's first walk of the night, I believe. So that'll bring up second baseman Jaden Flores, who really redeemed himself back in the 5th inning. That RBI single. Bases loaded situation, scoring the first run for the Sylvan Lake Gulls in this game, and just getting the juices flowing the right direction for this Gulls team and the crowd into it and everything beyond that. So runners at first and second, Flores, and Page turns back to second, holds on to it, steps off the mound. Beautiful sunset here in central Alberta. Wow, this is a picturesque evening. And that pitch comes in slowly, but a good pitch at that. Aiden Page with the off-speed 81 mile per hour catches Flores looking. Flores cuts under that one. That goes back foul. He's quickly down 0-2. Flores hitting .296 in this playoff. He's got 1 home run, 6 RBIs coming into tonight, and 8 hits. With the one last inning, he's got now 9 hits and another RBI added to that total. And he is in behind on that one. Swung a little too late. And there is out number 1, out number 2, a sigh of relief for Aiden Page and the Regina Red Sox. Brock Tiarena looking to keep the inning alive with runners at first and second. He walked back in the 5th and ended up with an RBI because bases were loaded with that walk. And if he takes another walk, that load bases yet again. And he just calls time here quickly. Tighten up the gloves. Hits now even at 5 apiece per club. And that pitch comes in with the off-speed 81 miles per hour for a called strike on Brock Tiarena. Great pitch there by Page. That pitch a little outside. Ball 1. Should this inning continue? Anthony Gilbert on deck. One and 1 to Brock Tiarena. That one catches the corner. Crowd disagrees. 1 and 2 the count to Tiarena. Looking to keep the inning alive. It's been quite the inning at that. Bottom of 6. 3 more to go after this. We'll see how it comes down to the wire. Aiden Page trying to get out of this one. And that one up high for ball 2. Once again, Trevor Drury over at first base, Brad Johnston at second, Rob Allen over at third. Just moments ago with the 4-man umpire meeting in between second and first on that play. Aiden Page with a great grab, though. I got to give him credit on Kyle Lewis. 2 and 2. Tiarena lifts this into shallow left field, fading left, and just goes foul. That ball had a lot of spin and maybe a little bit of wind helping it as well. Drift foul territory. As you can see the shot of the field, and right now you might not see it on your TV screen, you might, but the clouds in the sky, a beautiful, nice pink tone in the sky, setting up for a great finish here on the WCBL season. Just a gorgeous evening for baseball and all fans in attendance here tonight. So 2 and 2, two base runners on for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Brock Tiarena trying to stay alive. And he smashes this one. It's got a chance going all the way back to the warning track, and it is caught. Oh my goodness. That was close. I think the wind is pushing it in, so otherwise that might have been gone, but lucky break maybe for the Regina Red Sox, but not before the Sylvan Lake Gulls take their first lead in this ball game with Aiden Macaris crossing the plate. We'll be back with the top of 7 when we come back. Well, Matthew McKenzie did an incredible job tonight starting for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. 6 innings pitched, 5 strikeouts. He did give up 3 runs and 5 hits, but they got 6 innings out of him and some really good defensive plays behind him as well. But, then as the game went on, he just seemed to find a groove, and then he never looked back after that. Just strikeout after strikeout after strikeout, and good work done there by Matthew McKenzie. That'll bring up to the mound this guy from Texas, Leroy Taveras from Snyder, Texas, goes to Texas Southern University. And this guy loves to be in moments like this. He will eat this up all day long, and this could be one of his games to close things out as he starts off the first pitch with a 90-mile-per-hour fastball strike. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got a good cutter. He's got a good fastball. He likes to use a few different weapons in the arsenal. That one outside. 1-1 the count. Matter of now, some of the Gulls have been in this situation before. Now needing to remain calm and keep the nerves to an all-time minimum. It's Taveras working ahead of this. 1-2. You can see him. He's excited to go. You can see the adrenaline is running through that body right now. I can pick up the energy what he's probably going through right now. 1-2. And that is hit hard up the middle. That's going to land for a base hit. And Justin Simard, what he did last night to keep this team and their hopes alive, that might have just been enough to keep this team's hopes alive tonight. And he turned right to the bench as he was running down first saying, okay, boys, let's go. So be interesting to see what the Red Sox bring after him as he leads things off with a base hit. Tucker squares for the bunt, decides to hold back. Ball 1. Now it'll be interesting to see the bullpen and what they're going to do for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, who they have left. As we mentioned, we think Josh Tucker could be a candidate potentially to come into this game. And another square to bunt. Ball 2. Or no, that was a strike, sorry. Called strike, 1-1. And I remember when we were interviewing, Polsky, he was the EG Auctions player of the game a couple games ago. As Taveras, when he was being interviewed against the Okotoks Dogs in that final game when he came in to win it. And he's being interviewed, and he said, we have been just rolling, and we're not quitting until the wheels fall off. Sylvan Lake Gulls not showing any sign of that just yet. 3-1 the count. Jordan Tucker 0 for 2 so far on the night. And a good pitch there by Taveras. The off speed on Simard. Full count. And that's inside, and it walks him. Jordan Tucker will take first base on a walk. And now the Red Sox maybe putting something together here with the offense after being snuffed out for 3 straight innings. They are pressuring yet again in a key part and moment in this ball game. So that'll bring up Raphael Jackson. He's 0 for 2 on the evening, and that gets past Junior Garcia. So that right there is one of those passes you can't be doing for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Now runners in scoring position, both at third and second. So this one gets away from Garcia, and it's off the end of the glove. That was, I think, just a play that Garcia needs to have. That'd be a pass ball on the catcher. A little medium from the infield. Nothing on the catcher as Yokomoto and Flores both come in to kind of just calm Leroy Tavares in. And you know what's really good to see is that Jaden Flores and Leroy Tavares are really good buddies, but well before Sylvan Lake. It's Jaden Flores from Dallas, Texas. They're both good buddies, and in fact, it was Tavares when he was getting interviewed in the Alberta Dugout Stories with our friend Joe McFarland. This is lifted into left field. This is going to tie the game. Maybe Regina Red Sox going to take their first lead of the game, and they will again regain the lead here with 2 runs scored to Raphael Jackson's RBI, 2 RBI single. The exchange of punches continues. So we'll get a meeting on the mound here from Matt Haight. Leroy Tavares not happy with himself, obviously, but Sylvan Lake Gulls just need to find a way to get things sorted out here with 0 away. And then again, it's just one of those plays that you can't let happen. You can't walk a guy, and you can't miss a catch in behind the plate, allowing that ball to go back to the screen to allow the runners to advance in scoring position. And that's what allowed the Regina Red Sox to score 2 runs in on that play. But a great bat by Raphael Jackson. He's one of those guys. He was the thorn in the side last night to the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And there's a block ball on Leroy Tavares as Raphael Jackson gets another free pass to second. Regina Red Sox. That's just something that times like this you can't be doing. And let's take a look at Leroy Tavares, and they're going to call it right away. A good stop there by Garcia. So that's in the turf. Raphael Jackson over at second now with Zaid Brannigan at the plate. Not any action happening in the bullpen for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. They might be resting all faith and fate on this man, Leroy Tavares, on the mound. And he misses down and away for ball 2. Now they're going to send some guys over to the bullpen. And it looks like Garrett Lundmark's getting sent to the bullpen right now from Spokane, Washington. So we'll keep our eye on that. And again, down low. Tavares having a tough time. You can see it, the expression on his face right now. He's going through a lot of mental game right now. He wants this, and you know he does. He's a very emotional guy. Takes every single game, every single pitch seriously. And that one misses as well, inside for 4 straight balls to walk Zaid Brannigan. So they're probably going to speed up the warm-up in the bullpen here. We get some chirping going on from second base. I'm watching, there's some words being exchanged from Raphael Jackson over at second, and the umpire quickly in between him to silence things up. You see him there, he got the warning from the coach as well. Emotions are high, you gotta be able to keep everything contained at this point in the game. Meaningful game at that. Sox up 5-4 over the Sylvan Lake Gulls. 0 outs. Runners on first and second. Matthew Fox, the dangerous bat at the plate, 3 for 3 tonight. And Garrett Lundmark's giving the hat up, saying he's ready. And that misses as well. That's 6 straight balls on Tavares. And I think that's going to be it for him. That's going to be the night for Leroy Tavares. Garrett Lundmark's ready to come in. He's hot and he's ready to go. Tough one for Leroy Tavares. You know, you wanted to have a better outing and showing than he did, but Sylvan Lake Gulls are still well within this game. You can't beat yourself up too much. It's only a one-run game right now. And they just don't want to take any chances at this point in the end stage. So, and it's interesting to see. I think coaches on both sides of the teams are getting a little bit of a warning here on some words being exchanged from dugouts and chirps and everything like that happening. So we're just gonna take a quick break. We'll let Garrett Lundmark warm up. We'll be back with more Gulls baseball and the WCBL final when we come back. New pitcher on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls, and that is Garrett Lundmark, who has had a couple of games under his belt this postseason. He had a really good showing to kind of come in and close things out against the Okotoks Dogs back on August 10th. And they'll need everything from him here tonight. The first pitch is 2-1. Runners at first and second, still 0 down for the Regina Red Sox. They're up 5-4. They've added 2 runs in the top of this inning after the Gulls took their first lead of the ball game. And they've now regained the lead 5-4, and still some time left here in the top half of the inning to do more damage if they want to, and if they can execute. Obviously, Garrett Lundmark is going to have something else to say about that. Count now even, 2-2. Big pitch here. And he's got him. Let's take a look at the Hearthstone Property Management replay inside, in there for a called strike. Has him looking. So that'll bring up Brady by. So that's a tough batter to face too. Matthew Fox going 3 for 3 on the night. And a great pitch there for Garrett Lundmark. So the wind picks up here at Gulls Field. Really starting to be a breezy one here tonight. 1-0 the count to Brady By. 0 for 2. He's got an RBI back in the third with a sacrifice ground out. And he takes a big cut at that one. And we got Josh Tucker warming up in the bullpen right now for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. So we may just see that guy one more time come in this postseason. And Lundmark again has by swing and missing 1 and 2. Another big pitch here for Garrett Lundmark. To give the Gulls some life. That one fouled away from Brady By. Stays alive. 1 and 2 the count still remains. Crowd still hanging around here on this Saturday night. WCBL final action. And again, By fights that one off. Getting a piece of it. So wind kind of shifted. It used to go and it was Joe McFarland that said it all, or it was actually Kai Rempel that shows that it all goes towards right field, but now it's coming in from the right field. It's coming in from the west and moving to the east. So that favors a right-handed batter. And it's kind of pushing out to the outfield as well. So it might help big time. Had a big moment in this game. Count now even, 2 and 2. So Brady By is really making it tough on Garrett Lundmark. Spokane, Washington native, goes to Mayville State University. And Lundmark gets him again. Second straight strikeout for Garrett Lundmark. That is huge for this pitcher and for this team, for this fan base. They're loving it in the dugout. That'll bring up James Wright. Work's not done yet, though. Both teams left 11 men stranded on base last night's game. So far for the Red Sox, only 5 have been stranded this evening. James Wright at the plate, 1-0 the count. That's up high for ball 2. So Lundmark finds himself down in the count here, and he's asking for maybe a new ball. Yep. New ball comes in. And I might be at that stage right now, too, as you see Garrett Lundmark really focusing in on the catcher to read the signs. It might be just the way the lights are right now. And that gets behind Junior Garcia for the second time tonight, second or third time this evening. That moves everybody up a bag. So little plays like that can be absolutely crucial in a game like this and a timely point of the game in this as well. So we'll see what happens here as Garrett Lundmark is down in the count 3-0 here. Wright was taken all the way. And a good pitch there by Lundmark. Full count now to James Wright. Crowd looking for one more out to limit the damage. And he's done it! Garrett Lundmark comes in and he strikes out the side. The damage could have been much, much worse, but thanks to that man on the mound, this game is only a 1-run lead for the Red Sox. Seventh inning stretch, pump it up, is happening right now as Aiden Page throws his last pitch. And the Silver Lake Gulls now need to respond. Down 1 run, Anthony Gilbert will step up to the plate. He is 0 for 3 on the evening, which is very rare for him. And then you got Michael Quick and Junior Garcia. We're kind of in the meat of the order right now. 4, 5, 6 batters come to the plate here in the bottom of 7. 5-4. Red Sox lead. And this stays fair off the bag. Anthony Gilbert will make this into... No, he won't. He'll stay at first. Just a base hit. Doesn't want to test his luck early in this inning, but what a great hit here by Anthony Gilbert. Hits the bag. Stays fair. And the Gulls start off with positivity. And some warming up is happening in the bullpen for the Regina Red Sox. 2 pitchers actually are throwing right now. 12 is one of them, Jason Moist, who we saw last night come in, and he had a pretty big moment. And how about this hit right into right field? Michael Quick keeps things going. Back-to-back base hits for the Sylvan Lake Gulls on Aiden Page. And we were wondering, this guy's been playing a lot of baseball lately. Can his arm keep up? And that will bring in a pinch hitter and substitution in the catcher position for the remainder of the night in Trip Ray, with his dad Tom in attendance. And this guy also has a heavy bat. And notice how he is a righty and the wind favoring him right now. Crowd loves it. Gulls looking to tie it up yet again. And Ray squares to bunt, holds back. And looks like they're going to just try to play some small ball here, maybe move the runners. And also, we're finding out that 37 Nicholas Yard also in the bullpen for the Red Sox. So both those guys were a big difference in last night's win for the Regina Red Sox in their big comeback. So they're going to look to those guys again. Trip Ray angling up this bunt, and he just misses for a called strike. He's getting the sign from Jason Chatwood. Squares for bunt again. Holds back. Ball 2. Bases loaded situation would not be a bad thing yet again for the Gulls. 2-1 the count. Fans on the edge of their seats already, and we're creeping near the end, but still some baseball left to be played. Bottom of 7 here. 5-4 Red Sox lead. Hope you're enjoying it at home as much as we are here at the ballpark. And Ray misses the bunt yet again. 2-2 the count. So I'm wondering if the bunt comes off. Do they keep the bunt going? Trip Ray, 2-2. And you notice that Aiden Page is pitching up high, so he can't. And Ray swings on that one, foul to stay alive. Page, yeah, he's reading those bunts quite well. As Page, when a bunter, set for that bunt, it's hard to bunt up high. It's a lot easier to bunt in the middle of the zone or down low, but when it's up high, it makes it a little bit more trickier for the batter. So thinking that was the strategy and behind Aiden Page's pitching, and good pitching at that too. Trip Ray lifts this into foul territory. It's going to get caught up in the wind and caught for out number 1 of this inning. So that'll bring up Aiden Macris. A base hit, his last at bat in the 6th inning. Looking to give the crowd something to celebrate about even more. Regina Red Sox looking to hang on. Try to get out of this inning. Pitcher's warming up in the bullpen if needed, but I think they're going to try to allow Aiden Page to get himself out of this inning. And that's right down the middle for strike 1. Oh, 1 to Bacchus. 7 hits aside for both the Sox and the Gulls, something that we haven't seen at all yesterday. It was a complete opposite story. The Red Sox just well in front of the hitting category on the Gulls. But the Gulls keep it up with them right at that. And as far as clean baseball, it hasn't been as clean as we saw yesterday either. 2 errors aside for both teams. 1-1 to Macris. Ball swung and missed. 1-2. One and 2 to Macris. Page, big pitch for him here. And he's got him. Strikeout on Aiden Macris. That's a huge pitch for Aiden Page. And this is a huge inning for the Regina Red Sox. My thoughts, and I'm just going to say this, I think that the Red Sox can get out of this inning unscathed. That could just be the turning point in this ball game on the way the rest of this game plays out. Still some baseball to be played, but that would do so much right now for Regina. So if they strand the Sylvan Lake Gulls runners on base. Simon Baker, it's up to him to keep this inning alive. 2 away. Baker takes a swing at the first pitch he sees, and he'll foul that down the first baseline. As we count the base runners stranded for the Sylvan Lake Gulls tonight, it's been quite a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 already stranded tonight. Nine or 10 to my count. Baker watches that go by for strike 2. He's quickly down 0-2. 2 away, bottom of 7. Runner in scoring position at second. Gulls led off with back-to-back base hits, and then since have been snuffed out in this inning. Baker looking to keep the inning alive. It's Kyle Lewis on deck. And he pops this up towards foul territory, caught up in the wind, into track, and it'll bounce safely. Gulls fans and the organization can take a deep breath, as that was a hard play to make, bouncing right at the fence. And a good Regina Red Sox throwing the ball into the crowd, giving a lucky fan that one as a souvenir. Nice big play there by a big guy in Samard. So it's a good classy work there from him. 0-2 remain to Simon Baker here. 5-4, Red Sox lead it. And he goes down swinging. Aiden Page with a big outing in this inning. Has Baker swinging at that one. And the Gulls strand 2 runners on base. The Red Sox come to bat at the top of 8. Garrett Lundmark back on the mound for the Sylvan Lake Gulls after coming in relief for Leroy Tavares. And the 3 batters he faced, he struck out all 3. 0 away, runners at first and second. And he ended up finding a way to get the job done in a big, big way. So this will be Ian Montz, who's 0 for 2 on the evening. 91 mile per hour outside. Again, glad to have you watching Gulls Baseball and Flow College, brought to you by visitsylvanlake.ca as we wrap up the WCBL season. A champion will be crowned here tonight. But taking a look at upstairs in the major leagues, how about the Toronto Blue Jays tonight? 14-2 over the Texas Rangers as they remain the top team in the American League. That's fouled back. Count now even at 2-2. Top of 8, here we are. We're inching our way that much closer. Stick around too, ladies and gentlemen, by the way, on Flow College here. We will have the post-game ceremonies and interviews and all the MVP and everything like that. Harry Hollis Memorial Trophy being handed out as well. Have all that for you here. Post-game reaction, so stick around, because who doesn't like watching a trophy be handed out and find out who the playoff MVP is and all that fun stuff. Full count to Montz now, and he swings and misses. 4 straight strikeouts for Garrett Lundmark. That's impressive. Wow. Coming a pretty big fan favorite here tonight. He'll bring up Riley Bender. Just kidding, he won't bring up Riley Bender. He'll bring up number 9, Jalen Myers, coming in a pinch hit for Riley Bender. And first pitch, swinging, foul. That's just inside for ball 1. So it's going to come down for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. And look at that shot. Beautiful sunset. Sun just setting on the west side there on a beautiful night here. But it's going to come down to, obviously, the strong defense for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Their defense must remain now basically perfect here on out. They want to have a chance at getting back into this game. Tying things up. Garrett Lundmark, 2-1. Hit to the ground to Flores. He'll ground it or field it. Throw it over to Macris in time for out number 2. Been pretty quiet for a while now over at second, but makes a good scoop there deep in the hole and a great play over to Macris for the second out. And that'll bring up Justin Samard, who's 2 for 3 on the evening. Swing and a miss. It's been the storyline since Garrett Lundmark has come in. How about another one? Serving you up on a dish. 0-2 to Justin Samard. On deck is number 10, Jordan Tucker. But you won't need him because Garrett Lundmark just keeps throwing strikes. 2 strikeouts more in that inning. That is strikeout number 5 on the night for Garrett Lundmark, and this has just been something to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, strikeout number 1, strikeout number 2. They were thinking maybe he was getting himself into a little bit of deep water in that last inning, but then the way he responded in a big way in the 7th, the pop up to first base in foul territory, and then he strikes out Aiden Macris and Simon Baker back to back. So they're gonna obviously keep him in this ball game, giving him, now that he's feeling a little confident, he's got those confidence. Kyle Lewis with the double back in the 5th, and then the RBI sacrifice fly out right to the pitcher. That was back in the 6th inning. That kind of created a little bit of tense moments between both sides. And Lewis thought about swinging at that one, and he just holds off. 1-1. And Lewis hits this into left center field. This is going all the way back to the wall. It's going to bounce off, and Kyle Lewis is going to get to second. But I think he pulled a muscle. He's feeling it right now, and he gets to second, but he slowed right as soon as he turned first base. You could tell something was wrong. But what a base hit here for Kyle Lewis. Hit that deep in the gap. And right there, you can see he's hobbling and just trying to get to second. Fortunately for him, it kind of stops things from happening for him to go to third. I don't know if he would have gotten a third in time with that base, but with that big swing of a bat. But he's going to walk things off here and chat with the trainer and Rob Manka, see if he can stay in this game. And they're going to just test it out here. Something just tightened up a little bit on him there. So it looks like he's doing okay with running. But you don't want to chance it, especially at this point in the season when university and college is right around the corner. But he'll awaken this crowd yet again with a leadoff double. And they're saying, can he sprint? And that's what he's testing out right now. And it looks like he's doing okay. Yeah, he's okay. He said, I'm fine, I'm good. So they're going to keep him in. And he's going to be okay. He's just need to stretch it out a little bit. So that's good to see. Good news. So he's going to stretch it out. So a great start to this inning. Bottom of 8. Tying run at second. That'll bring up Tai Yukamoto, top of the batting order. 2 doubles on the night for Kyle Lewis and an RBI. Maybe an inside track there on EG Auction Player of the Game as well. Silver Lake trying to battle their way in this game. Just trying to find a way. Yukamoto squares to bunt. He bunts it foul. I'm trying to play a little bit of small ball here. And that's makes it tough on Regina. They have to make big plays on that. Yukamoto squaring to bunt yet again. That comes down low and inside. Listen to the crowd. The buzz is in the air. And a lay down for a bunt as it does the job, but the throw from Aiden Page to get over to first in time for the out for Yukamoto. It does the job though, and Kyle Lewis makes his way over to third. So a good play there by Yukamoto on the sacrifice bunt. And that'll bring up Jaden Flores. Chance to tie this ball game up with a swing of the bat. Takes a big cut at that one. Swing and a miss. A little bit behind on that pitch as 91 miles per hour beats him quickly. Now he squares to bunt, and that goes off the bat and back. So that's going to be 0-2 to Flores. One away. Maybe they're trying to squeeze bunt there. They've done it already this postseason, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen. Brock Tiarina put down a really good squeeze bunt. He's on deck right now. And a swing and a miss on Jaden Flores. Now, as that pitch was coming down, the scoreboard here at Pagano Park went off. And then it came back on right as that ball was coming down the line at him. So I'm wondering if that had a little something to do, a little whoopsie there by what's going on here with the technical difficulties on the scoreboard. But that'll bring up Brock Tiarina, the DH tonight. He's walked in a batter, and that's about it. It's been a little quiet as of late. This is a time to come alive and come awake for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Aiden Page looking to, for the second inning in a row, get out of danger here. 2 away now. And that's up high for ball 2. Brock Tiarina hit .281 on the season, drove in 18 RBIs. He had 1 home run and 39 hits. He watches that go by for a strike. From Andrews, Texas, Lubbock Christian University kid. Another Texas kid looking to do something magical here. Hits this right to the second baseman, Matthew Fox, with the throw, and it's in time. So the Regina Red Sox will head to the 9th inning with a 1-run lead, and Aiden Page is fired up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it comes down to this, the final inning of work here between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Regina Red Sox. Red Sox with a 1-run lead, looking to add a little bit of insurance. But Garrett Lundmark has been hot. He has matched the amount of strikeouts on the evening in 2 innings alone by himself. Not even a full 2 innings either, ladies and gentlemen. This is basically an inning and a 2/3 maybe, and he matched the K totals on the evening in just that short amount of time. So incredible stuff there, as he's given the Sylvan Lake Gulls team a chance, and that's fouled back. 0-2. He's facing Jordan Tucker first, and then back to the top of the batting order. That's going to be oh so dangerous for the Regina Red Sox. That's turned on. Foul down the third baseline. So they're putting all faith and trust into Garrett Lundmark, and why not? He has shown himself tonight. He's feeling it. And he hits Jordan Tucker to lead things off in this inning. So the Regina Red Sox get started with a base runner just like that. And that had to hurt. That hit him right on the hand. As Ron Shuchuk comes over to check things out, make sure he's okay. He's getting looked at right now by one of the trainers of the Regina Red Sox. Trevor Drury felt kind of like he was missing out on the party, so I thought he'd come in and join the conversation. It's been a good game to watch, ladies and gentlemen, that is for sure, and more stuff happening on the field with more conversations. Matt Hape now comes out, and I think he's just kind of asking Ron Shuchuk, okay, how many meetings on the mound do I have? And so I'm thinking Hape is just going to come out to chat with Garrett Lundmark, settle everybody down, get everybody on the same page here. Josh Tucker awaits in the bullpen. He's ready. He's looking on. Just hanging out. Wondering if he's going to come into this game, and wondering if Garrett Lundmark's saying, okay, this is it, buddy. You're on a short leash right now. See what you can do. Trip Ray also a reminder that he is back in this game for Junior Garcia in behind the plate. So that'll bring up Raphael Jackson. With runner over at first. Jackson is yet to see Garrett Lundmark because Garrett Lundmark came in with Matthew Fox in the 7th inning. That goes high and away from Raphael, who has been deadly all playoff long. Take a looking at his numbers ahead of tonight. 333 is what he was hitting at 3 RBIs, 13 hits, 1 home run, and scored 11 runs himself. And this is popped up. Fly ball. Shallow center field. Flores tracks it down and comes away with it. There's out number 1. And Jaden Flores had to run a long way for this one as he had his eye on it. And then he's like, okay, I got it. And a good catch there by Flores. So that'll bring up Zade Brannigan, the birthday boy, turning 22 today. He's got 2 walks on the night, but no hits. And they're sending him. Trip Ray with the throw, a little bit of an interference, and the foot comes off, and they got him. What a throw by Trip Ray. In time catches Jordan Tucker out at second, but the throw got a little bit in the way of Zade Brannigan, kind of got in his way a little bit. I was wondering, he did have some words for Shuchuk after the throw, but he makes the throw regardless. And what a toss. That is huge. And now, Zade Brannigan is down 0-2. And Garrett Lundmark has done the job. has sits down Zaid Brannigan, and the Gulls, it all comes down to their offense now. Down 1 run in the bottom of the 9th when we come back. Matt, this guy's been electric tonight. Garrett Lundmark with another strikeout. Oh my goodness. All fate rests on this man, Aiden Page, with a 1-run lead, looking to hold on. The Sylvan Lake Gulls trying to surge and fight their way back. Bottom of 9, it all comes down to this. Aiden Page on the mound for the Red Sox. Winds up, fires, delivers, and it's a strike. Anthony Gilbert, 1 for 4 on the evening. Had a base hit back in the 7th, let things off. And then 2 runners stranded on base after that. So he has seen Aiden Page already. 1-1 the count. This is big. Big moment, WCBL final, all down to this. That's down and away. 2-1. This is hit hard, but into foul territory towards the bullpen, and it'll land safely. That'll even the count, 2-2. Two and two, Anthony Gilbert. And he goes down swinging. Gulls down to just 2 outs now. Michael Quick, who has been dangerous this playoff for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. He has done some damage. That is for sure. He's looked good all postseason for this Gulls team. As he's hitting .464 this postseason. He's got 2 RBIs, 13 hits, and he scored 4 times himself. He's up 2-0 right now. And this is right up the middle, deep in the hole. A nice stab there by Fox. And he's safe. Michael Quick gives the Gulls some hope and some life. A hard hit ball right up the mound. A good stop there by the oh-so-good Matthew Fox. But a big dive there by Quick gets there in time. That'll bring up Trip Ray. Winning run at the plate. First pitch in there for a strike. Oh, 0-1 the count to Ray. Bottom of 9. Runner at first, 5-4. Sox lead it. That's down and away as well. 1-1 the count. It's going to come right down to the bitter end, right down to the wire. Why not? Yeah, this is how you want it in the WCBL final. Game 3, 1-1. And that's in there for a strike. And Trip Ray knows it too. Now 1-2. And he fights that one off, just getting a piece of it to foul it off to stay alive. Good at bat by Trip Ray. 91 miles per hour from Aiden Page. We were wondering if he would be able to stay in this long. It was looking shaky at times, but he's done a pretty good job and found a way with pressure mounting to keep the Gulls from tying this game. 2 innings in a row, he has kept base runners stranded. Trip Ray wanting to change that. And this is popped straight up. This should be an easy play for the Sox. And it is. It's an out at first by James Wright. The Gulls now down to their final out. All hands rest on this pinch hitter in Bryce Turner coming in. Bryce Turner looking to keep things alive. Can he do what the Red Sox did to the Gulls last night in Justin Samard? Red Sox 1 out away from a championship, the first time being champion since 2012. Can they get back in the throne? And a swing and a miss. Oh, 1 to Bryce Turner. And that's in there for a strike. Gulls down to their last strike. A little bit of what we saw last night, isn't it? Regina Red Sox looking to finish it here. And that's down on the turf. It's like it's deja vu all over again. But opposite teams. 1-2 to Bryce Turner. Runner over at first. That is Michael Quick. 2 away. 5-4. Sox lead at bottom of 9. And this is hit foul down the third baseline. Red Sox in the driver's seat right now. 1-2 pitch up high. Evens the count at 2-2. Fans are on their feet here in Sylvan Lake, hoping this continues. Even count, 2-2. 2 out, 5-4. Sox lead it. And that comes inside for a ball, 3-2. It all comes down to this. Everything comes down to this play right here. Full count to Turner, 2 away. And he fights it off. Three-two count, and it's a walk. This is staying alive for now. The crowd loves it. Simon Baker at the plate. He's got one base hit back in the 6th. He was hit by a pitch in the 5th, which then would come around and score. All fate rests now in the hands of Mr. Baker himself. Ball hit hard to center field, and it's caught. The Regina Red Sox are back in the throne and are your WCBL champions. The WCBL championship is coming back to the East. What a season, what a series by both the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the Regina Red Sox. Absolutely incredible. The underdogs get it done. And a big catch at center field. Ian Montz puts this one away. I mean, a great series and nothing to be upset about for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. You see the disappointment, obviously. You've come so far. You had such a heck of a season. You finally get past the tough Okotoks Dogs in the West Final, making your first WCBL final appearance. And it's a tough pill to swallow, being up 1-0 in this series early on. You win in Regina, but then the Regina Red Sox did what they've done all postseason, and that is win in the opposing team's barn. And Red Sox have done all of the upsetting this playoff, just upset after upset after upset. And they deserve it. They came hot and ready to go in the postseason, and they never turned back. And they are loving every single moment of it, as they should. What a win. And for the first time in a while, the WCBL championship, as I said, is going to the East. First time since 2019. And that was when the Regina Red Sox lost it in the WCBL final. They were on the other end of that loss, or sorry, I should say 2018. But tough series nonetheless. And now the handshakes come in, and I mean, obviously all the congratulations on the Regina Red Sox side. Absolute heck of a year. They went through some adversity themselves. They had to find replacements in the middle of that season. And they got the job done. They filled the holes, they filled the gaps. And they did it. And ultimately, Jesse Lubinecki, I know you're watching down on this Regina Red Sox team right now, and they want it for him. They want it for you. This win was huge. This is for the Lubinecki family. This is for the whole of Regina Red Sox organization. It started with an emotional year for this Red Sox team, but they come back and they get the job done. And we know that Jesse was with them every step of the way. As they pay their respects in the handshake in a hard-fought series that went all the whole distance, all 3 games. Absolutely incredible stuff. And there's the pitcher, Aiden Page. I mean, you got to give him credit. My goodness, he came in And he gave up hits every single inning that he was in for. He had to come in a tough situation with bases loaded back in the 5th. He ran into some trouble in the 6th, ran into some trouble in the 7th, a little bit of trouble in the 8th, and even trouble in the 9th, and he somehow found a way to still get the job done, being a senior and his final year in collegiate baseball, and that's got to feel good for him. And Jason Chatwood, on the other side of things, his final year as head coach, I mean, it's a bitter way to go out, but as a head coach, you got to be so proud of what you have accomplished in those 5 years as a head coach in franchise history of the Sylvan Lake Gulls to get this club where they are today. And nothing but respects paid to him as he will end his final game as head coach just on the other side of a championship. So a tough one for him to swallow, I'm sure. But we'll hand things down to our PA announcer and our post-game celebration ceremonies right now.
The Lethbridge Bulls, the Okotoks Dogs, and the champions, the Regina Red Sox, along with their fans who made the trip to join us. At this time, I'd like to send it down to home plate. With us this weekend are representatives from the Western Canadian Baseball League. Here's the president, Kevin Kavame, with our presentation. Kevin?
Thanks, Joe. Can we start by giving a great big round of applause to both of these fantastic teams on an epic championship final. They say it comes down to the final strike in baseball, and this series was an epitome of that. So congratulations to the Regina Red Sox, but unequally congratulations to the Western Conference champion, the Sylvan Lake Gulls. This was the 350th game out of 350 for the 2025 season. It was a season of rainy weather here in Alberta. It was a season of fires around Western Canada, but it was a season of great baseball. And the fans here in Sylvan Lake, I can't shout out to you enough for your support of the Gulls and your fantastic stadium here. So congratulations again to Graham, Akil, Jen, and all the Sylvan Lake family and the Gulls. I'd like to start by congratulating the Regina Red Sox and announce that the 2025 most valuable player of the WCBL playoffs is Brady Bye. Congratulations. Thank you very much. I'm not going to interview you, Brady, but Joe's going to get you right after the ceremony. All right, Regina. For the first time since 2012, and the third time in your storied history, the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy is coming home to Regina. Okay, last year they mobbed me in Okotoks. You guys aren't allowed to do that, but I'm going to give you the trophy. Thanks again, Sylvan Lake, for all you. The last two games have been epic. I'm going to throw it back up to you, Joe, and we'll be back with the ceremonies on the field here with Joe McFarland of Alberta Dugout Stories in just a couple of minutes.
Well, there you have it. Just a terrific moment. Regina Red Sox celebrating, lifting, and hosting the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy. hoisting at that. And, you just listened to it. Brady Bye, the playoff MVP. And yeah, well, I mean, rightfully so. He was the catcher, calling a lot of those balls and strikes, but just some terrific bat work as well. 344 is what he was hitting coming into tonight with 11 hits, 32 at bats, 3 runs, 9 RBIs. And he just did so many good things for the Regina Red Sox. And you take a look at what he did tonight. Well, he had an RBI, sacrifice RBI back in the 3rd inning, and he got on to an error in the 1st. But all around, just a team player. And honestly, I got to give credit to Aiden Page. I really liked Raphael Jackson's game. Matthew Fox was absolutely lethal this playoff as well. I'm a little surprised Matthew Fox wasn't the guy, but how about that? The coach and Rye getting his turn with the chip. Love to see it there. And nothing but big smiles there as he'll be going back to Greece. A happy man. And he's loving every single moment of it. And there they go. That's going to be a happy bus ride back to Regina here tonight. I was talking to him and I said, you guys going all the way back to Regina, win or lose? He said, yeah, we got to get back to Regina. Guys are flying out tomorrow. So Regina will be heading the full 8 hours tonight. And that's a long drive. But we're allowing the Regina Red Sox to have a moment with the trophy. Meanwhile, the dugouts are starting to slowly clear for the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Some still in disbelief over there on that side. But we'll hand things back off to our public address announcer, Joe Whitbread, with Joe McFarland, the MVP.
All over North America. I'll draw your attention now behind home plate for our post-game interview. Here's Joe McFarland from the WCBL.
Thank you so much, Joe. Brady Bye, playoff MVP. How does that sound first and foremost?
It means the absolute world to me.
Talk a little bit about now. The next thing is Brady Bye, WCBL champion 2025. When we talked pre-playoffs, you're like, that's what I want. How does it sound now?
And it sounds awesome. I'm so happy for all my teammates. We've been working really hard, and every single person on this field earned this today.
What was it about this team in your eyes that kind of set it above the rest?
I think we had a lot of grit. We could have shut down early in the year. We could have shut down whenever, but we stayed gritty throughout the whole time, and I think grit gave us upper hand in playoffs.
Was there a turning point in your eyes where this team started to believe in themselves?
I think the last 7 games of the year, we started to really figure things out, and then we showed up, and we had a really good first series against Medhat, and from there, we just kept rolling with that momentum.
Talk about the roller coaster of this series, man. It had to have been something else living it right here at Gull Stadium, especially games 2 and 3.
Yeah, that was nerve-wracking as heck. That's a great team over there. I got a lot of respect for those guys. So it was a lot of nerves going throughout the whole series. It was awesome.
A lot of people may not know this. You're a hometown kid, Regina. What's that mean to you to be able to take it back home?
And I remember them winning the champ when I was a little kid, so it really means everything to me to be able to do this with some of my best friends in the world.
I'll let you get back to celebrating with your teammates. Congratulations, Brady Bye. 2025 WCBL champion, Brady Bye. He's also your MVP as he shakes hands with the governor of the Regina Red Sox, Mr. Al Simpson. And Al, when we talked during the All-Star game, you mentioned the fact that, hey, it'd be kind of nice to do this. Now you've done it. How does it feel now that you can see the boys raising that trophy over their heads?
It was exhilarating to watch them do this. I do want to say that it would have been nice to win it at home, but there couldn't have been a better place to win it than with a classy organization like the Sylvan Gulls. So my hat's off to that organization. They are very, very classy and proud that they're in the league.
What was the turning point in your eyes for this team? Because you were about a 500 team during the regular season. Was there a moment where you saw something different in this team?
I think maybe the first game against the Mavericks where the guys seemed to just become a little bit more focused. But we lost a lot of good players throughout the year, so it was tough to build chemistry. And I think it took a little time for us to get that to all come together. And these guys were committed to playing ball. So I would say the first game with the Mavericks seemed to really turn things around for us.
How cool was it being in your home park for game 1 and being as packed as that place was? I know you wanted to win there, but that had to have been something special.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we had probably 2,000 people in the park. And then we've got a little bit of a hill out there in right field We probably had 200 people on chairs and blankets out there. So congratulations to all of our fans who were great supporters of this club. Hats off to them, and they deserve this just as much as the team does.
Speaking of the community, final question for you. What's this going to mean to that community to bring the championship home for the first time in 13 years, if my math's correct?
There's a growing affinity for the Regina Red Sox in the city of Regina, and I think these fellows here have made the city proud. I'm proud of them, and I'm sure the entire city will be very proud of them.
It's been a ride. You've had a heck of a year. You've got an ownership thing that's going on as well. So, Al, congratulations, 2025 WCBL champion.
Thanks kindly.
That is Al Simpson of the Regina Red Sox. As we continue, it's like the principal's office. You have to go over to in the center field here. Rye Pathakos, when we talked yesterday, he said, we just got to steady the ship. We got to rinse, lather, repeat. Did the boys do what you thought they would do?
Yeah, they were ready all day. They were locked in and ready to go. These guys never quit. As you saw, we came back and scored those 2 runs to jump out ahead again. So, and AP was fabulous. Our whole team played with big heart, desire, character. We love these guys, and I'm almost speechless. It's unbelievable what we went through this year.
Talk about that transition, because you guys have had a little bit of roster turnover. You had to bring in some guys late. It was like, okay, what is this team going to bring? How did they all come together as quickly as they did?
Well, we have a great culture in the room, and the pieces that we added fit right in perfectly. And they bought into what we were doing and the culture, and it just was seamless. And the last month of the season, we were just pretty much unstoppable.
What can you say about your pitching staff? You go up against Medicine Hat. They've had a good offense. Everybody knows what Saskatoon did, and Sylvan did what they did in the last half of the season. What can you say about that pitching staff?
Our pitching staff's outstanding, and generally they're an older staff, a lot of senior pitchers, which I think really showed. Even tonight with Aiden's a senior, they're unflappable as opposed to a younger player. So I think on our pitching staff, our seniors and the whole staff played and pitched very well. And they're older guys, so they went through a lot of wars.
Final question for you, Rye. What's it mean to you to be a WCBL champion?
Well, this is my 25th year in the league and my first championship, so it means a lot.
Well, congratulations. Job well done, Coach. And also, for those who don't know, Rye might actually be missing out on a big ceremony happening. The Saskatchewan Baseball Hall of Fame is inducting this man and a few others tonight, so congratulations on that as well.
Well, thank you very much. I can't be in 2 places, and I wanted to be here 100% with these boys here. I love them.
For sure. Well, congratulations on both. Congrats. Thanks so much, Rye. Fantastic stuff. Rye Pathakos, the head coach, and now we bring up the guy whose arm is ready to fall off. I'm pretty sure. Aiden Page, congratulations, my man. How does it feel to be a WCBL champion?
It's unreal. I just can't believe it. I mean, it's the best feeling I've had in a long time.
What's the attitude or what's the vibe in the dugout as those innings are going on? And you're up 3-0. You kind of got the crowd out of it, and then they storm back. The crowd's back in it. What's it like? What are you guys saying in the dugout to keep your everything up?
Just keep your head down and keep pushing, keep putting pressure on them.
What was it about this pitching staff that made it all come together right at the right time?
Staying on us, doing what you can control, and don't let the emotions get the best of you.
Who are you thinking about right now?
Just my parents, really. My team, I love them guys. I mean, I don't know, just a lot of mixed emotions.
For sure. Well, go celebrate with the rest of the boys. Congratulations, Aiden. Job well done. He is a WCBL champion as well as this young man who manned shortstop for quite a series himself and was definitely in the conversation for MVP as well, Matthew Fox. First off, how does it feel now that the series is over? You can go, because that was one roller coaster ride after another.
Yeah, it's awesome. Finally able to breathe. I mean, every game went down to the last pitch. It was a great team. It was an awesome series.
What was it about this team in your eyes? You're a veteran of this crew. You went through some things last year to come back and be able to maybe button up some things that you wanted to last year, kind of thing.
Yeah, I think the struggles that we went through the first half of the season towards the end really shaped us up, strengthened us for the rest of the postseason.
Talk about the vibes in that dugout and how everybody this seems like a really tight crew considering the fact that there's been some turnover.
Yeah, 100%. The energy's awesome. Every pitch, every time a guy's hitting, every time a guy on our team comes out of the pen, it's awesome.
Final question for you. What's it mean to you to be a WCBL champion?
This is awesome.
No better words to put it. Matthew, really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Matthew Fox, shortstop of the Regina Red Sox. And we'll wrap things up with a leadoff hitter who had himself a pretty good series as well, Raphael Jackson. First off, talk about the series. What was it like being in that dugout and going through the roller coaster ride of emotions?
Man, we've been losing at home a lot, and we've been laying down on the front. So we say once we get on the road, we just got to stay on us, stay with ourselves, and let's get the job done.
What was it about the road for you guys? Because you guys were undefeated away from the friendly confines. What was it that made you guys go, we got this regardless of where we're playing?
We have a saying, we come in your trap and take over your trap. We just keep saying that. Ready to ourselves.
They heard you. Talk about the roller coaster ride of this season, because it wasn't like you guys were running away with the division. You go into the unfriendly confines of Medhat. You go into the unfriendly confines of Saskatoon. What was that like going through the roller coaster ride of every series?
So in entire season, we had guys coming and leaving. We just had to depend on like a core group. Once we finalized that core group, we needed to stay on ourselves, get to know each other, and just bond some more. We went through a little rough patch when we had everybody, and from there we feel like we're just gelling good going into the playoffs.
Fantastic stuff. Final question for you. What's it mean to be a WCBL champion?
I have no words right now. Just champs. Champs.
Champs. Well, congratulations. Really, job well done. Go celebrate with the rest of the boys. That is going to do it for our post-game show, both on Flow Sports as well as here in Stadium. I do believe we have some other things going on after the fact. But on behalf of everybody at the WCBL, it has been an honor and privilege to be with you as the co-host of the WCBL Report. Thanks to all the fine folks over at IKS Media for making that show happen. We got one more with myself and Clark Monroe coming up a little early on in the week to recap what has been a phenomenal final series between the Sylvan Lake Gulls and the champion Regina Red Sox. We also want to thank all of you, our fans, who have supported this league from top to bottom, from opening day and the Rural Roots Classic to Canada Day, Father's Day, the All-Star Game, and a phenomenal playoff run. It has all come to an end, and with the Regina Red Sox being named the WCBL champions for 2025. On behalf of everyone at the Western Canadian Baseball League, thank you, and we'll see you again in 2026.
Well, good stuff there from Joe McFarland from Alberta and Saskatchewan Dugout Stories, and it was a great series and a great season at that for both these clubs. Sylvan Lake Gulls get the monkey off their back to the Okotoks Dogs. They come into the WCBL final. They take game one, and it was just a battle right to the bitter end, and they didn't go down without a fight here tonight. But then the Regina Red Sox, to their credit, filled in some pieces halfway through the season, started to really gel. They didn't take anybody by storm as the regular season went on, didn't impress anybody. But when it mattered in postseason baseball, they got the job done against three very, very strong and hard teams to beat in the playoffs with the Saskatoon Berries, Medicine Hat, and now the Sylvan Lake Gulls, as they are the WCBL champions, and the first time the Harry Hallis Memorial Trophy is going out east since 2018 when Medicine Hat last won it. But as I mentioned, it was Regina that got out to a pretty early start. Then Jaden Flores and the Sylvan Lake Gulls redeemed themselves in a way that they finally find a way to get some runs scored and tie this game up. Then Garrett Lundmark comes in and does a terrific job, but the Regina Red Sox would then add one more run to go right to the bitter end of this game, and they would hold on for a 5-4 win with that catch right there. That is the seal the deal. For everybody at Green Onion Media, we want to thank the fans. We want to thank the organization of the Sylvan Lake Gulls. Stay tuned. Watch their Facebook page for Beyond the Bases. I'm Cale Clark with another bird's eye view on this one. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Jim Claggett, as well, for joining us.
72-hour odor protection with only 9 ingredients isn't a myth.
At VistaPrint, we print all the signs that help your small business stand out. We print tabletops that get your brand seen up close, and retractable banners that stop everyone in their tracks. We print A-frames that bring in business, posters that show them what you're all about,